Hello everyone, this is Fighter Cast, and we're back with more Judgment on the PS4. And on the camera you see there's Double RPG, and the other guy you're gonna hear is Visible Ninja.
Hey, folks.
Hey, fools.
We got a little bit of a more laid back episode today because, last week I was gonna do something, and it turns out I got sick.
Yeah, and last week I was visiting some family members who actually came from out of state last Saturday, so I was spending some time with that, and Jerry was going to stream, but all of a sudden he got sick, so we were like, okay, well, let's just cancel for last week, and then we'll just resume this week. So, yep, that's how it is.
Yeah. Thankfully, I'm good. I'm good to go. My throat got a little messed up during being sick. I'm not still sick, but I'm gonna cough just because my throat got like super scratched up. But I'm technically okay. It's just you're just gonna hear coughing randomly because of my throat.
LPH says, hey, happy Batman Day. Is it Batman Day today?
Metal, you would know.
I think it is, actually, yes.
Huh, so the day when Detective Comics issue number what that introduced Batman. Oh, okay. But yeah, LPH, happy Batman Day to you too, because we're all Batman in our hearts. Anyway, so
We're drugs.
in the last episode, we
Yeah, I
managed.
was just gonna ask, what did we do?
We finished up on chapter 4 finally, but we did not get along with chapter 5 that much. So hopefully we'll pick back up where we left off and hopefully get through
Chapter 5.
get through a majority of that.
There's a missable trophy there. I missed it, so I'm gonna help you get it though.
Yeah, so
Make
they want
yourself
us to
at home,
return back to
Anderson.
Ginda Law office
I'll leave you
and
the key.
rest up.
You've been here way longer anyway.
This isn't really a spoiler. This whole chapter is basically mostly just a giant flashback.
Well, gee, that's going to be very interesting. So we'll just have to see where destiny takes us. I mean, even though you did claim before we went live that you actually managed to beat the game finally.
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah, I beat it a couple weeks ago actually.
Well, that's pretty dope.
I was thinking of 100%ing it, but then I'm like, oh wait,
Yagami-san,
I got so little room on this
I know you
PS4
just told
because
Genda-sensei
they thought
you're very
500 gigs
low,
was okay.
but that's
And
not true,
so I was
is
like,
it?
well, I
it's
guess
You gotta
I,
keep hunting down this killer.
I said yes.
so I deleted the game,
Don't worry,
but
I won't tell Genda-sensei.
you know,
Mhm.
But
yeah, I
in
beat it,
return,
and like I was thinking maybe later, maybe when I get like
wanna help
bored or like I'll probably
for the mole,
re-download
that
it
is.
and just like let me
I won't
get
slow
the
you
stuff I
down.
missed.
I promise.
Looking to avenge
I mean,
Shintani,
we
huh?
all have our little
He wasn't
incentives
as
every
strong
now
as
and
he
then
let
where
on.
we're just like,
The
you know
tough
what,
guy
maybe we
act
should
was
100% everything
imaginary
and get the
war to hide his
platinum trophy. I
insecurities.
mean, that's how I was
Deep
whenever
down,
it came to
Yeah.
me
He was just weak.
playing like the
That's
Final
why he was
Fantasy
going
games
along with
because
Mama,
most of
not because he
them
wanted to.
from what I played have
I mean,
been
who can say
me
no to
getting the
Yakuza?
platinum trophy on them.
Now look
But,
how it
although I
turned
still
out.
have not
I
platinumed
was sitting
Final Fantasy
right
VII
next to
Remake
him
as of
this whole
yet.
time.
But speaking of
There was
which, we
nothing
do
I
have a
could do
lot
to
to
help.
talk about because there was a lot of gaming news this past week
I'm
that
still
we,
young. I don't
can
even
deliver
know
our
what
full
kind of
thoughts on
lawyer
now
I
that we
want.
had some time to process all that in our
Criminal,
heads. I mean,
Not the
am I right?
slightest idea.
Hey, did you get the Discord?
But I know
Oh yeah,
one
I got the
thing.
Discord.
I don't want to be the kind of lawyer who
Just
sits
asking.
on his hands after
Oh.
his friend gets murdered.
Yeah, yeah, I got our
Which
Discord. That
means-
was like the last thing I
You sure
posted
about this, Hoshino?
before I
Genda
turned
says
off
Well,
he told me to lay
Discord.
low.
We're
If
good
you're
then.
seen helping,
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Well,
that.
yeah, news
I'll
and
defend
gaming
myself
stuff.
in
Well,
court if I need to.
we did our PS5 reaction,
Now,
and
Yagami-san,
thinking about it, Wheels
do you
brought up some
mind
other
if I
stuff
tag
to me,
along?
like how a lot of
You'll
that
just
he
tell
was wondering if that
Genda-sensei
actually
if I
was
refuse, huh?
gameplay on
Yeah,
Demon Souls and
you
a
got
couple
that
other
right.
games, or if it was just
Not much
CG
choice
footage
there.
to
Welcome
look like
aboard.
gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to be working with
So
you.
they're basically
well,
pulling like a
let's get down to
Ubisoft with
business.
Watch
First off,
Dogs again.
I wanna
You know
know
when they
if
first
Shintani
revealed it.
before he died.
It's not confirmed.
Evidence.
Like it might actually be
Just that.
gameplay. He was just wondering. Like he's on the side of thinking it is just CG, but I don't know.
Not to mention the whole Demon Soul thing, where turns
Demon
out
Souls is the
the
main. Yeah.
turns out the whole also coming to PC thing was an error, apparently.
Oh. It's like yeah. It's like they really don't want you to. But I'm like, look, I want to build a PC. I'm gonna. Like, I don't want to have to buy another friggin' console. Like, come on.
Shintani dialed this
I mean,
number
probably.
earlier today.
Watch me. I'm probably still gonna.
I want to know where it
Watch
is.
Kyle like in spring. Watch me get a
That
PS5.
makes sense.
Like, Jerry, what'd you do? I just bought a
Good thing
PS5.
the killer
Yeah.
forgot to take Shintani's phone.
And I do eventually plan to get a PS5 at some point, but it's just
Yeah,
but it's
not
just at
much.
launch. It's like nah.
Even if the phone was
If anything, I'll probably get a PS5 by the time when Final Fantasy 16 releases.
Really? I had no idea.
Exactly.
Yep. I bet he
I'm
left the
thinking
phone so I'd
spring
find the body
myself.
quicker.
Huh?
I think Metal, you said spring too. I don't remember.
Yeah, more or less.
Probably wanted to cause as much chaos as possible, you know?
But it's just after watching that PS5 showcase, it's just like
number got a
it
hit
seemed
in
like
the
it was
search.
more of a
It's apparently
mixed type of
for
show,
the,
but it wasn't that full of a
Advanced
letdown, kind of
Drug
like it was
Development
back in
Center?
July.
What
I mean,
the hell?
they did show off some new games
What,
that
do
were
you
like
know
that made us raise some eyebrows. That
3
made
years ago,
made us be like,
famous
you know what?
murder there.
Maybe we might consider getting one down the road.
And their body dumped in the
And
mountains.
Final Fantasy 16 was
The man
my
they arrested
thing.
for it
Even though
was named
in the
Shit.
PS5 reveal, they did show off that it was going to be coming to PC as well. But then
was
Square
your
Enix was
client,
like, "Oh,
wasn't
nope, sorry, that was outdated footage.
He
So
worked as a
it's
contract laundry
exclusive for
man
PS5 for the time being." It's like,
Every 2
what?
or 3 days, he'd stop by to pick up their dirty linens.
Stupid
police
companies
report,
and their
thought he carried
stupid
the body out
games.
in a bundle of sheets.
And it had me really excited too, because Naoki Yoshida, the director and producer of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn and all the expansions after that, he's being the producer for Final Fantasy 16. So it's him and his unit that are actually working on the new game. So it's just like
I bet we'll
it's a
find
lot
out
to get
pretty
excited
quick.
for,
But it's getting late.
In ditto.
because he was pretty much the guy
Go
that
home.
managed to revive the series in a more positive light in
We
the
can start
last
fresh
decade.
Tomorrow. Where do we want to meet?
Oh, right.
And then, of course, there were other games that were popped up as well, like a new reveal for Resident Evil Village, even though
That should work
they're
for
like,
now.
Resident Evil Village? Or Resident Evil 8? Nah, it's just called Resident Evil Village. Even though we do have the acronym of VILL to make it look like the number 8. It's like, yeah, you might as well call it Resident Evil 8 at this point, guys. It's like, there's no hiding it.
Well, yeah, there really isn't, but oh no, it's Villaggio.
And LPH says that he's still pissed off for what happened on Friday. I guess that has to do with the PS5 pre-orders. Because,
yeah.
that was another huge thing. It's just the people scrambling trying to get a PS5, and some of them are reportedly getting canceled or they're on a waiting list, and it's just like, wow. Oh, why did I go back out?
Okay, I'm done working. I'm all good with work, so now I can see the stream. Yay.
So, Jerry, it's just like, you heard about the
Shit.
the PS5
I've
reveal.
heard what about the pre-orders being glip-glopped?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Like, what is it like?
Like, some of them
I
are
forget.
getting it, and some of them are not, as they have to be on the waiting list.
I think what GameStop is the only one that's working, or is GameStop the worst one? I wouldn't be
think
surprised either way.
I think GameStop is the only one that's working right now, because others like Best Buy, Amazon, from what I heard, are having some issues.
LPH said, "I just hope I can get an Xbox." And actually, funny enough, something again like I'm not an Xbox fan, but I gotta applaud Microsoft for doing like these pro-consumer things. Like they're also not only letting you have these SKUs, but they're also letting you pay it off in installments.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, so why can't Sony do the installment thing either?
Apparently if you buy through the actual Sony store, you can apparently.
Oh, you can, but directly through them though, huh?
Yeah, directly through the other
okay.
official their actual store.
Mm-hmm. And I saw on Twitter that our buddy Dalo, he was in the PS5 pre-order train, but then he got a email saying, "Oh wait, you don't immediately get on pre-order, but you're on the waiting list."
Yeah, even though Sony did say that they're trying to get more stock.
Mm-hmm. All right, this old man says he needs mugwort. I'm pretty sure
he's a
Gary knows what's going on here.
He's a filthy muggle.
Let's see here.
I mean, you
Oh,
guys.
LPH and his GameStops are sold out. Oh, this guy! Yeah. he's a friend event, but it's part of the main story here. But he's actually a friend event, and he's very useful. Very.
Oh, okay. Useful as like what's his name who likes to play ninja with us?
He gives you power-ups, and you can make your own power-ups when you keep giving his friend event, and you can like make good power-ups. It's right there, glowing right there. The mugwort he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't see that earlier.
Oh, I see that sake flask that's lying down, or that sake gourd that's lying down on the ground there. The
He
mugwort.
basically pulls literally Skyrim alchemy enchant, where you can like mix ingredients and like you drink it and you get powered up for different things. Literally Skyrim alchemy. So the cool thing is, you know how you get the ingredients?
How?
Just keep an eye out for stuff flashing on the floor like that.
Oh, okay.
I always do. Anything I see flashing, I go right up to it and grab it.
Now you can,
yeah.
now you can see the old man giving off a really huge grin on his face. It's like, well, at least it's not huge as that one guy, running around Sotenbori in his underwear in Yakuza 0.
Oh, well, the walking erection.
Yeah. I call this an extract. An extract of what? Technically speaking, this is a medicinal decoction. But extract rolls much easier off the tongue, does it not? Yeah, decoction is like one of those tongue twisters, like roads, roots, limit. That's another one of those hard words to say. And
Quiet down back there.
Yeah, but don't. But we won't go with the.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the rest.
Yeah.
Which
if you know what we're talking about, then thumbs up. If you get that movie reference.
If you know the movie, yeah.
Oh, but forgive me for not introducing myself. I'm Layama, or no, Why did I think that I was an L right there?
Iyama, yeah. I'm Layama.
Layama.
I was like, oh, so he's Tibetan now, huh?
I guess.
He's a llama?
I'm Iyama, and I make and market my own extracts right here in Kamurocho. That's why people call me the Hermit of the Dragon's Palace. Really? So, but just make sure you're no pervy sage, okay? But hey, we just started a friend event with this guy. Huh, people just call me Yagami. What's this Dragon's Palace thing about? You know that abandoned building in the hotel district? That's the Dragon's Palace. My pharmacy's on the 4th floor. Oh, so he's a bunch of people. So he's basically another one of those people who has like healing items.
Yeah, you have to fight a bunch of people, and there's a random hang-on arcade cabinet in there.
Gather ingredients for an extract I'm making, but I got winded and ended up taking a nasty fall. Ooh. I'm glad you were around. Well, that boosted up my friendship a little bit. Now I definitely want to get this guy as a full-fledged friend. Oh, a Keihin gang thug. Oh boy. So yeah, looks like we're having to fight a Keihin gang member again.
Yeah, that's the
That's the thug that glopped Iyama.
Apparently.
Oh god. And thank goodness that was not Mr. Shakedown there, or Honda. Even though he kind of does look like him, but at least he's not big and menacing. All right, let me see if I can get my fighting streak or my fighting mojo back on, because last time we were playing, I was not playing the best.
You're gonna lose this.
Oh, really? Is it really that?
One of those, yeah.
One of those story-based missions.
So what happens is he's gonna lose, but then he's gonna drink. The guy's gonna give you a drink to drink.
I see.
Oh yes, steroids. Yeah.
Oh, cool!
Even though by all means,
did an awesome EX action with the swing.
Oh, Oh, you got the playground destruction?
Yeah.
That's the only one I never got because I was like, I never saw myself using it.
That's pretty dope.
It is funny though. And then he swing, yeah. Yeah, he actually does a thing like he's. So yeah, like you should beat him, but yeah, you notice he fights like Renji. Meow.
This is my cat. Makes a
Okay,
guest
so
appearance.
it's one of those storied events, but even though, you know, it's like one of those things where you don't, you know, automatically you don't, like, quote-unquote lose the fight, but it will stop eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. See, because like you were actually doing well, but like the story says nope.
Yeah, I seem to be doing better than I was last week with my, with getting my fight mojo on.
The way the game makes it seem is like you need to take those just to win.
Uh-huh.
But no, like it's nice to take, but I only took it when I fought the Kahan bosses, like and even then sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Thunder.
Like the one that lets you break their guard and just beat them up.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one is the one that lets you do a pile driver.
Ah.
That one all of those, and I used it on the final boss.
Interesting.
I
One
just kept spamming it.
One of my miraculous homebrewed extracts, of course. Speaking of which, why haven't we seen homebrew in the chat?
That's true. Hey.
Once you drink it, well, you'll find out soon enough. Come on, Yagami, take it.
LPH mentioned Batman Day. Didn't DC announce something?
I can't remember, but I did hear news that Henry Cavill is back to play Superman in a 3-film deal.
Really?
At least that's what our friend Nightwing01 said on Twitter.
Oh well, I know he doesn't. K-Wing would never lie. I know that much.
Mhm.
So.
I'm in the middle of an animation where I'm about to do the whole, the pressure strike or whatever it's called.
That thing is super good to do. That Flux Fisher is super good. You know, the only thing is you got to know when to time it, and what you want to do is you want to time it earlier than later, and you'll always get it. Does more damage than a Tiger Drop. So you timed it later.
Yeah.
It's just figuring out the timing. You want it earlier. Like basically, you know how it's like a line going on the square, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want it like right when that line hits the square, not inside the square. Like you want it as soon as it like.
It is one of those things that it is kind of tricky to pull off, kind of like the whole Tiger Drop.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the trade-off, right? It does crazy damage, but you should know. Once I found out, though, I was dropping everybody, though. With more than the Tiger Drop.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Yeah, I heard Cavill came back as well. Cable. Well, I was going Cable.
Might as well call him Cable, right?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you did it. Oh yeah. Basically, just as soon as you do it, mash square so it comes out as early as possible.
If I can, because it's not allowing me to do the Flux Fisher.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, he's blocking all of a sudden. Yeah. Hey.
Got him.
Hey, Omega Mario, how's it going?
Hey,
What
Dane.
is up,
Welcome
my
to the
man?
stream.
Hey, GG's, man. Last time, by the way, yesterday, Omega Mario was seeing about people in Street Fighter 5.
He's kicking
Me
ass, eh?
and Rick were actually about the same rank, but I never got to fight him with my main though. Oh yes, I did. What I'm talking about? Yes, I did, and he saw about me, because I remembered how to play Karin as soon as I was losing. I was just saying it on the stream. I was like, I know what to do now, but I got too little health, so I'm gonna lose, and then I did. Oh, husky. So they show huskies on TV. I go, oh.
So I guess after the after the PS5 showcase, then the next day was the new Nintendo Direct Mini that they showcased, and it became a really big day for Monster Hunter fans because we got 2 new Monster Hunter games coming to the Switch. I think the next main installment to the Monster Hunter series called Monster Hunter Rise, and then a new installment of the Monster Hunter Stories RPG series.
Monster Hunter and Switch, man. I know it's on Monster Hunter World is on PS5 and all, PS4 and all that, but it's always been a Nintendo thing to me.
Excuse me.
Like, just in my view, like it's always been like.
Oh yeah, I mean, Monster Hunter has done really well, at least in Japan, when it comes to like Nintendo devices for them. Because
even though like the very first Monster Hunter I remember was PSP, but I mean, you know.
Well, technically, the first Monster Hunter game ended up on the PS2. But the one that we got localized to the West, yeah, it was the PSP game.
I remember my friend back in high school, he would bring his PSP to school and friggin' was playing the crap out of that game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what do you even see in this game? He's like, it's great, Japan loves it. Then I
Well-
started, first one I played, I got in late. You know what the first one I played was? 3 Ultimate on 3DS.
Ah, okay.
And I was like, oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, the earlier Monster Hunter games, they're kind of rough around the edges, but it's just the later ones are actually really good.
Yeah, they definitely fixed a lot of the issues I had with the PSP one.
Mm-hmm.
And Omega Mario talking about the Street Fighter V thing. Yeah, he said I kept dropping parries, and Star Shell said he had a game on PS1 called Battle Hunter.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know that one.
I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever played it.
What game I should play? I should stream Trag one of these days.
Huh?
Maybe after Judgment. It'll be my turn to have my face on here.
Yeah, or you could stream Lunar Silver Star Harmony, but then again, I guess if you want to, tackle something easier than just an RPG first, then yeah, we could.
It would be easier, yeah.
Yeah, we could take care of that first.
Michael says he has Trag. I remember buying that game back in the day. I was so confused what it was. I was like, it's like Resident Evil, but it's not a horror game. Like, wait, what?
I remember playing Alone in the Dark, a new nightmare on the PS1.
Oh, wow.
That's some good stuff.
Remember the original Alone in the Dark and how that looked?
Yes, actually, I do.
Very primitive for a DOS game that it can actually, you can play in 3D.
It was slow and a bit janky, but it was pretty ahead
Innovative.
of its time.
Yeah, very innovative for its time.
definitely.
I mean, did Resident Evil take a lot of cues for that game?
Yes, it did.
It does, yeah.
And a lot of
Like
people
horrible things jumping through windows to jump scare you.
And a lot of people take for granted and thinking that Resident Evil was revolutionary. It's like, nah, you haven't even played
Well,
the
no,
original
yeah,
Alone
it
in
was
the Dark.
Alone in the Dark. There was what was it, Sweet Home on the Famicom?
Well, it was a survival horror RPG because it played, it played more like Final Fantasy, but with a survival horror type of theme, or Dragon Quest. I should say more Dragon Quest because
Dragon Quest.
It was one of those things where when you play the game, it's like you're in like a first-person perspective against the enemies. But,
yeah, Alone in the Dark. It's funny how like the games look now, because that first one, it looked like you were controlling like a shaved Nigel Thornberry or something. Like, describe it. Hello, I'm Nigel Thornberry.
and I'm shaved. But my name's not Nigel Thornberry. It's Edward Conby.
Oh man.
And then, there was another survival horror game that came out, but it ended up being a more point-and-click adventure type of survival horror RPG, and that was Clock Tower on the Super Famicom, and that game scares the crap out of me. Not because of its premise, but based on the fact that everything is all pixelated in 2D sprites, and. That type of survival horror is what actually gets me really scared, just because of how more artificial it is than the 3D aspect. I mean, sure, you could say that the original Resident Evil is scary and more so its remake, but it's just like, But no, Alone in the Dark. I mean, not Alone in the Dark, but Clock Tower. The first Clock Tower, at least, it's like, ugh.
That was some creepy shit, especially, you know.
I mean,
The most notable thing about that game, you know, Mr. Giant Scissors Man.
yeah, even though he's in the form of a little kid.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Still called Scissor Man, yeah.
it's
Yeah, that.
creepy as shit trying to run away from this guy. And if you don't, you meet some fairly grisly ends,
Excuse me.
especially for the time. So,
Mm-hmm.
God, like that game got a port for like the Wonder Swan.
We never did
You
get
can
Clock
believe
Tower
it.
until its sequel came out on the PlayStation 1. But
I was gonna say, yeah, we never got the original. Yeah, we got the sequel.
yeah, we got the sequel, but they still called it Clock Tower because they think
Yeah.
it's the first one ever made. It was
Clock
like,
Tower. Note in Japan, it's Clock Tower 2. Oh, wow,
Mhm.
okay.
which was a,
Oh God,
which
yeah,
is
that like, what was that other one that they made that was like a similar idea, but was like on like a sinking ship, like the Poseidon Adventure. It was over here. It was called SOS, but it was called like Serpentrion or something in Japan.
hmm.
It was
Wait, what was that
basically-
game?
It was built
SOS?
using the same engine as Clock Tower, but it was like kind of like a Poseidon Adventure kind of thing, where you're trapped in like an upside down sinking ship, and you have to escape. And like there's various kind of optional people you can find, and everything in the ending depends like how fast you were, like who you saved.
Oh, yeah, here we go, yeah. SOS, also known as Septentrion.
Septemon, yeah, it's done by the same people.
Oh, yeah, it is the same, yep. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. And there I go. I botched that kick. Oh, there's Mr. Ninja. Whatever his name is. Ryan. Oh, it's Ryan. Yeah, it is Ryan. But yeah, that's, I don't think I've ever played SOS.
Omega Mario. He said, I hear Borks. Starshaw said he has Maniac's Mansion. That game's still pretty creepy.
Oh God, yeah. It's...
Hey, can you still microwave hamsters in it?
Yep.
So yeah, I played those, and then of course I played Clock Tower 3, which was on the PS2. First game that Capcom published in that series. Heard a lot of people had like mixed feelings of that game, but I know that Happy Video Game Nerd, aka Stop Skeletons from Fighting, actually had very positive things to say about that game, and I could definitely agree with him on that. But a lot of people say they actually like more of its spiritual successor, Haunting Ground.
Starshaw said there's endless possibilities in Maniac Mansion. Hey, did Maniac Mansion, then it was what, Day of the Tentacle?
Yeah, Day of the 10th. Oh yeah,
Spiro.
classic.
Kaito-san
What
told
is it?
me you'd be here.
LucasArts adventure.
Yeah.
games.
Forget about me next time, yeah?
Those are the days, man.
Wish you'd
Yeah,
fucking
that-
forget about me.
Day of the Tentacle. Was Grim Fandango them too? Or no?
Up here?
No, I think that was a bit
It's so nice
later,
of you to
but
let
that
us
was
use your
definitely the
store,
era of that,
Higashi-san.
like Monkey
Especially when you're
Island,
clearly so opposed
And
to
Sam and Max,
Don't talk
all that
down,
stuff.
Yakuza.
Yeah.
What was that one about that biker guy?
It's
What was that
okay,
one called?
Higashi-san. I think we all know
Full
you're
Throttle,
nicer
I
than
think?
you let on.
What the hell?
Damn, and you're braver than
Oh
you
yeah,
look, Hoshino.
there was that. What was it? A
You got
Tim
the
Schafer
skills to
game?
back it up?
Yeah, yeah.
Agree, black belt.
Yeah, the Full Throttle, Grim Fandango, Secret of Monkey Island. Those games that he worked on during his time at LucasArts.
Well, call this meeting.
Oh, Monkey Island! I had one of them. I thought I love Monkey Island. Guybrush Threepwood. Kind of name is that? Guybrush
Threepwood.
Threepwood. And he would always say when he sees something, he was like, "That's the second most whatever I've seen."
It's likely the mole.
Somebody asked me to draw something for them once,
And I'll need all of your help.
and it was like a really weird what they call that, request, and it was so
The ADDC.
weird. I pulled a Monkey Island and I
Time for
said,
that to come
"That's the
up.
second weirdest thing somebody's ever asked me."
Again? It's come up before?
And then
We can talk about it later.
they said, "Oh, what was
What's
the first
important now
weirdest?"
is
And I was like,
Shinitani
"Nope, I'm not
called
drawing it for
before
you
he was
now.
killed.
You didn't get the reference." Maybe if you played more Monkey Island.
Uh-huh.
I
Maybe.
think I remember them being in the news a lot last year.
Yeah, throughout all the years, I
Something
never knew
about
about
a
Tim
new
Schafer until
drug
I
that
heard
could
of a
win a
little game
Nobel
called
Prize.
Psychonauts on Xbox, PS2, and
Yeah,
PC.
here it is.
I didn't even know that the guy was really that, that big of an echelon in the game development scene back in the day.
Has now been published.
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Knowing is half the battle.
Exactly. G.I. Joe.
G.I. Jose.
Star Shell mentioned Maniac mentioned having a TV show, and I'm like, what?
It did, and I actually
It's a
remembered
brand
it
new
more for
dementia
the
drug.
TV
They
show
call it
because
AD9.
Huh.
This was right
it was a
after
bit
director
weird.
Keto from the
Like
ADDC
it had a
published
lot
his
of like
paper on it.
similar humor and
They're still
situations in
undergoing
the
clinical
game, but
trials on
obviously it
larger
you know
animals.
wasn't
But
entirely
apparently
the same.
every
But
single mouse
it was kind of
they've given
funny,
to
and it
has made a
had
full
Joe
recovery.
Flaherty in it too. So
The man giving the presentation here is Dr. Ryusuke
I remember this
Fans
part.
of SCTV out there.
and the primary
Now,
researcher
one
on
point-and-click
AD9.
adventure game that I played, which wasn't a survival horror, but it did have a really creepy and surreal aspect, was Seventh Guest.
From what I can tell,
I actually-
Ministry of
I
Health
I
is
never played it, but I
increasing
know
the
that game, yeah.
ADDC's budget to hasten the development
Very
of
well. That was
AD9.
yeah.
That was an
They're
MS-DOS
even
and PC
building
game,
the
too.
It's a huge project.
It's a point-and-click adventure with a lot of puzzles, but I remember just
Still
how
not
creeped
getting
out I was just based on
Why
the
shouldn't
whole,
Tony go and call them?
surreal aspect.
That's what we're
It was
about
going
to find
for.
out. And there's only one way to do that.
Come on! Can't just take a man's phone.
First off, we'll need to figure out who Shintani
Star
is
Shell
calling.
said the last point-and-click game he
How
played
are we
was
gonna do that
Pantsu
over the
Hunter on
phone?
PS4.
I
Of
suppose
course.
That all depends on your acting skills. Detective
Pantsu Hunter,
Yagami.
of course. Japanese-made game. Now I'm getting, like, Galgun vibes, just thinking about it.
Actually,
That's another game that I'm surprised I've not even picked up on Steam yet, is
Pantsu Hunter
Galgun.
back to the 90s.
ADDC.
I mean,
front
why
desk
haven't you?
speaking.
It's
Hi there, ma'am.
Like,
this is
the best game of all time.
Obviously.
Star
I mean,
Shell
you
said
shoot
he
girls
he,
and they get wet for you, so there you go.
Hey. Star Shell said he platinumed it as well. Pantsu
this is
Pantsu Hunter, that is.
Yagami from the
Okay,
Yagami
so
Detective
this one.
Agency.
Hello there, Yagami.
They're all wrong.
I'm calling about a
Oh,
lawyer
yeah,
named
okay, I
Shintani,
figured
who
as
believe
much.
contacted you yesterday. I was wondering if you could connect me with whomever he spoke to.
But seeing as how I'm,
sorry,
building up
but
my
I
own
can't do
PC,
that.
it's
It's
like,
in violation of our
I
personal
can
information.
hardly have time to
Well,
get
the truth
games,
is,
quite a lot as I
Shintani's
used
son
to.
passed
Not
away
until I get
yesterday.
my new PC
This is
built.
the last number he dialed.
The
so
good
I
news
called
with
to ask about
PC
it.
is like it's true. Like
I'm sorry.
once you actually have the dang thing built though, and
You'll need a warrant
spent the money
if you
on
want to
that,
know more.
the games themselves, I
really
mean, they're
am
always
sorry.
on sale on Steam or something. You know, you
Mhm.
get them dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Thank you anyway.
The games themselves, you don't have to worry about having money for. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No way this
Oh,
happens over
like
the
like
phone.
like when I bought Fallout
faster to
4
just
just
head
because
over
it was
there
$9.
myself.
I was like, well,
You think
do I
that's
really
gonna
need this
work?
game? No.
Not
It's $9
sure,
though.
but I know the director, remember?
And I'm like,
Well,
oh my
okay.
god.
Case scenario,
Now I
I'd be
know-
empty-handed.
Now I know how
with you,
people
Yagami-san.
feel when they buy things on Steam
Me
out
and
of whim
Gash
because
have
it's
to
on
check out
sale
what's
for
going
dirt
on
cheap.
with the
I
Matsugo
never
Mhm.
play them.
Should be
People are like, I had this.
I have been guilty of that
Hey,
as well. I think
don't
we all
remember
have
anything.
Oh, yeah.
at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I
By the way,
I
You're
thought
not
I
wrong.
would
Because
be.
it's dirt cheap.
Whatever happened to that
Yep.
guy from 3 years ago?
I thought I wouldn't be, but here I am
Shinpei
buying
Okubo.
games that are dirt cheap and not, and be like, yep,
He's in the
didn't need
detention
that, but
center.
okay.
Been there since they gave him his death sentence.
It's like it's Fallout 4, but
Have
it's
you ever
$9.
gone to see him, Yagami-san?
$9.
I think
No.
$9.
I think during this past, during this week,
Why
I
do you
managed to
ask
get a
anyway?
copy of Ukulele and the Impossible Lair on
I was
PC
wondering
for
what it
like
was like.
$11.99.
The case got tons of news
You know
coverage.
what game I haven't played? I still haven't played. And I want to is
I was also wondering
what's
what
that game
you
called? A
thought
Hat in Time.
about the
Yeah.
case.
Yes. Oh God, man.
Did you really think that
When
he
you
was
get your
innocent?
PC, or even if you are using your laptop, I wholly endorse you to get that
Probably.
game. Really
Then
fun
he
collectathon.
Killed his
Yeah,
girlfriend.
I was like,
Oh,
that game.
yeah, and
You
I've seen
defended
some
him for
pretty
that too, yeah?
crazy mods for that game too.
It's like you're playing a young Trucy Wright, but from the Ace Attorney games. But if she ran her own ship and just needed to get back home, basically
Yeah.
using a bunch of
Did you believe him then? Too?
hourglasses and not power stars or anything like that, or jiggies.
No, he could never have killed anyone.
What I find funny is
But
you said all that, and all of a sudden my brain was
I
like,
didn't believe him.
A Hat in Time. You know what you need to
Fighting for
get
him in
next?
court made me
The Misadventures of
sick to my
Tron Bon. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's rare, actually.
Do Do you think
If I
he
remember
deserves
correct,
the
that's
death
like a really
penalty?
rare game. Let me check.
It is.
It is.
It is,
by what I
but you can get it
remember.
on PS3's
My
PS
bad.
Store.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah,
Is that
PS3
too far?
Classic. Yeah, it's on there, but
If you
physical
say so.
version, yeah, is not exactly a cheap game. Let's say. I don't think they printed a whole lot of
Yagami-san?
copies over
You're
here.
heading to the ADDC now,
No.
yes?
I
No,
mean,
that's why. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a taxi
that's a
first.
rarity like
I'll wait for
Suikoden
you
2
over on
rarity.
Park Boulevard.
Or
Um,
like the
Adventure
original
Time,
run of Dragon Ball GT Final Bout.
Oh, yep. I remember telling Star Child, that, yo, keep that Dragon Ball GT. 'cause
Yeah,
that's
that
what-
was like obscenely rare and really expensive until they actually just like out of the blue reprinted it like 2000.
Omega Mario said he got that ukulele on Epic Games when they gave it for free. Next week is the upcoming Switch Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 complete.
Yeah, I saw. I'm actually really, honestly, like I that's one reason why I do like the Epic Store, because you do get some nice stuff, and unlike Plus, you just get to keep it for like ever. Like I've been playing a lot of
it's-
Enter the Gungeon, which I got.
It's that guy who lost his toupee again.
Oh yeah, yeah, you meet him like 2 more times.
Over here, Yagami-san. I have a taxi for us.
His quote-unquote hat, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, Star Child. Oh man, one of these days you gotta tell the story of that Mexican bootleg. He was talking about that. We had to go to Kanzenshu. Omega Mario said, "Haha, poor man's pride."
oh, the guy.
I just went to eBay to see Tronbon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
$300.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's like Suikoden 2, like complete in box type of rare right there.
Oh, but if you don't, but
No,
if you
that's
just
like,
want
it's
the,
like
the
Panzer
disc,
Dragoon Saga in
yeah.
original box levels there.
Now, if you want just a disc, it's $180. Like what?
Yeah, Scalper just... I mean, I know it's a rarity, but I think I'll just stick to the digital version since they have it for cheaper.
Oh yeah.
This is why people are like, emulation's bad. I'm like, no, it's not. It makes games like that still live.
Yep, I'm going after the hair before doing the main story stuff.
It's funny, isn't it? Nintendo emulation bad. Also, Nintendo emulates 3 of the Mario games on the new collection.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's like emulation bad. The 3 games are all emulated.
I have a
Exactly.
lot. Yeah, I have a lot to say about that as soon as I get to a stopping spot with this whole thing, because I have a lot to say about Super Mario 3D All Stars.
I'm looking for Switches on now the regular Switch. How much is that supposed to be? $2.99 or $3.99?
$2.99.
Okay, so everybody's trying to sell it for $3.99 here.
Well, yeah, of course they're trying to upsell.
Yeah. Somebody's selling it for $2.12 instead of $2.99.
Just the
Used, I
OG.
guess.
Just the OG system. No.
Yeah, the OG. Yeah.
Well, that's not terrible, I guess.
It's not at all. It's used. I don't. Well, I just want A, does it work, and B, it's not all scratched up. And also C, is this person reliable of a seller? You know.
Yeah.
You know eBay.
Right. Now I gotta chase
Are
a
they-
kid.
Are they reliable? Like me, I actually did. I only sold 4 things on eBay. They were my whatchamacall. That's true. Yeah, that's a kid. He's chasing a child. Dang.
Yeah.
I'll make
It's like, it's like, really, the child's faster than Yagami?
I guess so.
anime kid. That's why. Star Child said, I was at Game Exchange looking through SNES games and he came across that Final Bout. I knew they didn't release Final Bout for Super Nintendo, so I bought it to see what it was.
You talking about Dragon
Turns
Ball
out-
GT Final Bout?
No, there was an SNES bootleg, and he says right here, all it was a Street Fighter 2 game that got modded with DBZ sprites.
Huh.
It was a ROM hack, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of awesome, actually.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
Star Child and me were like, let's go to Kanzenshuu and ask about this game. And we finally found out it was just a ROM hack.
I know RGT85, he actually did somebody gave him a copy of X-Men Children of the Atom on Super Nintendo, and it was basically a SNES hack of that game, but it was janky as hell.
I can assume. Just like Street Fighter Alpha 2 on Super Nintendo, like they somehow fit that game on a cart, even though like it wasn't really
Not
a good idea. Like,
right, even though they had to make some adjustments to accommodate the,
Oh yeah.
to fit the game.
I remember seeing that back in Toys R Us. Remember Toys R Us?
Oh yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Uh,
You still got
I-
them where I live.
Oh yeah, Canada still has them. Shoot.
Yeah, Canada still has Toys R Us.
If I had a passport, I would just go to Canada randomly and just go to visit. What's your purpose of visit, eh? To go to Toys R Us? Okay.
Shopping, eh? Well, not that you could at the moment, anyway. So.
Yeah, no, yeah, COVID.
Right.
I saw it at a Toys R Us as a kid, and I was like, wait a minute, because it was already 1998 or so, right? And I'm like, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, even as a kid, I was like, wait a minute. I thought Super Nintendo, like, we're already on PlayStation N64. Like, why? What do you mean there's still games coming out for this system? Let alone Street Fighter Alpha, of all things.
Oh yeah.
Street Fighter Alpha 2.
I think I remember one of the last SNES. I know I remember that the Super Famicom, like one of the last games that came out for that system was Dragon Ball Z Hyper Dimension.
Yeah. Which was actually one of the best Dragon Ball Z games too.
It actually. Oh god, it actually is.
Mm-hmm. And I got a copy of that game on Super Famicom, believe it or not.
Oh, dope. Is
I
it in
know
the box?
most people. Like,
Unfortunately,
what is it, the Toaden 3
it's not in box, but
Shinbu Toaden, I think,
Oh yeah, Shinbu Toaden. Yeah.
is the one most people like. Of those.
Thought said he got his Inuyasha game he got at Toys R Us. Actually, years ago.
should I combo?
Actually,
I probably should get more combo speed, if anything.
actually, that just reminded me of the PS4 I have, my launch day PS4.
Uh-huh.
Got it from Toys R Us.
Oh.
Forgot about that.
Ah.
One of
Everyone
the
else was thrown out. Toys R Us still had them.
funny. One of the random items I found laying around on the ground in Kamurocho was a stretchy rubber.
Yeah, you're gonna need. Yeah, I saw you run by a couple of them, and I'm like, well, you're grabbing them now, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, you gonna want those? Oh, more K-Hin gang.
Yeah, more. But Ryan came to give me a hand, so I'm all good.
Yeah, Kota, which. That's funny. I'm like, wait, what?
Man, it seemed like that guy was not even trying when he was fighting against me. Did you see how weak he was?
Limp that punch, yeah.
Yeah,
that kick rather. Yeah, like, and that punch. It's like, why you even get to a fight if you don't even know how to throw a punch?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
why even start a fight for no reason if you can't like there's literally no reason for him to start a fight with Yagami.
No.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he doesn't even know how to punch. Like, bruh, rethink your life, dude.
You think your life, dude? Don't be a scrub.
Star Chow said another thing he bought at Toys R Us was a Headmaster Optimus Prime.
Awesome.
I have an Optimus Prime somewhere in it. It's dope. It's like you guys told me it was a G2. I remember showing you guys, you and
Yeah.
Wheels. You had a laser sword and you ran by another shiny thing.
I got the well-used rubber
And
right
another
there.
shiny. And another shiny thing. And yet another shiny. Oh, you got that one.
There was other shiny things lying around.
Oh yeah, you ran like.
Oh, okay.
Past.
Yeah, okay. I think I see it. There's a twig. One of them. Sometimes those
'Cause,
shiny
like-
objects are kind of invisible to the naked eye.
Oh no! If you're not paying attention, you will. Yeah, you will not see them.
Here, I got the cheap plastic now.
Cause that stuff. Cause you definitely want the growth extract. You know why?
Why?
because when you drink that, it gives you more experience points, so you can buy all the like more health and all that.
Nice. Okay, I will definitely keep that in mind.
And you also want hug bombs, because when you drink the extract and then drink the hug bomb, you get even more experience points.
Oh, nice. I think I need to get a new upgrade to boost my combo speed. Don't you think?
Well, that's what I usually prioritize. And hey, look what movie they're giving. You can't see, but they, well, it just started. The Fifth Element. Yay!
Nice.
Yay.
The Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah.
I've heard a bit about
Elu
this
Dallas
place before,
multipass.
but the ADDC.
She knows it's a
isn't it just
multipass.
one part of a larger organization. If I recall correctly, they call
Multipass. She
it the
knows it's
Medical
multipass.
Institute. Is that accurate?
Yeah. They own every last inch of this campus.
All right, I'm gonna
It's incredible.
be back. I just gotta get out of
Even with
these
all
clothes
these
and into
buildings,
some ones that
they're
won't
still
make
getting
me feel
budget to
so.
expand from that new drug.
Okay.
I don't-
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
guess while we're watching this cutscene, I might as well go ahead and explain my
Yeah.
thoughts
Yeah.
on Super Mario 3D All Stars so far.
Yeah, give us your soapbox on it so far.
I mean, they're still the great games that you would expect, you know, from the from their respective systems when they came out. But I'm just, if there is something I have to complain about, I think I made mention of this before. But the thing is that I'm really disappointed that they did not do like fully enhanced remakes using like the engine for Super Mario Odyssey as a base, like what, you know, Super Mario All-Stars did with how they used Super Mario World as a base for remakes of those 4 Mario games that were on the NES and Famicom. And I'm even, and especially when it comes to Super Mario 64, that
What are you all shaking up for?
I'm really just kind of disappointed that they did not take the time and effort to
Yagami?
put in any like quality of life improvements. Like they did not take any cues from like say the more recent unofficial PC port with like some of the stuff that they did to improve upon the experience, because I figured if they did more of that, and they probably could have made, you know, specifically that game a lot better, but they didn't even do anything. And
Almost like time
and
itself is
some of the, and even when you're like moving the camera for like all 3 games, that like,
Come on.
I don't know how they could have screwed that up, screwed this up, but it's like they used inverted controls instead of the normal controls with how you just move around the camera. It's just like, why did you feel that was like a necessary change just to, you know, change up what it is that we already knew from back when we first played those games? And not only that, another thing too is that if you're playing Super Mario Galaxy for the first time and playing it with the regular controller, it's like, or if you're playing like the classic controller Pro, or no, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, is that
place in Kamurocho yesterday.
A coworker of ours named Shintaro. He was the victim.
You know how
We had a
there's
record that he called
you
the
know,
center
some
before he
motion
was
control
killed.
sensitivity coming from either
hoping you can help
that
us
or even the
track down
Joy-Cons.
exactly
It's
who
like they
spoke.
still implemented that into the core design. It's just like it kind of feels awkward at times when you have to like use a traditional controller to like point the reticle at the, you know, have like the reticle or the star reticle just show up on the screen. It's just like kind of weird. So, and on top of the fact that the games are all emulation, I see it as both a detriment and a benefit. Detriment because they're not, you know, it just seems like it completely goes against Nintendo's stance with what they say about, you know, what they say about emulators and ROMs and all that. It's very, it kind of seems like it's a, you know, they're just playing flip-flop all over again, especially, you know, with how they've been, you know, going after ROM sites back in the day and that kind of stuff. But at the same time too, it's just like, you know, how they've been wanting to also try to seem like they want to settle things even out of court. But at the same time, it's just like, why would you do that, especially when you did the exact same thing for like the original Super Mario Brothers on the Wii Virtual Console? How you just pretty much took a you know, a ROM of that game and then you just put it onto the virtual console service, and it's just like, look, we know that it's really hard to preserve original material that that you have like stored in your supercomputers or your like your big huge data management drive or whatever that you have for your company, but it's just like, don't be a monkey's ass and just doing that kind of stuff, and even making it more apparent now, especially when it comes to like the games that are in the Super Mario 3D All Stars. And but overall, I will say, I mean, if you're going to go into that game, but I will say the going back to what I said, being a detriment and a benefit. The reason why I say it's a benefit is because if they put those games, if they made those games run on emulators that are specific for each one that's on the Nintendo Switch, then that pretty much opens up the gate for like Nintendo Switch, Nintendo GameCube, and Nintendo Wii games coming on the Nintendo Switch Online service.
So instead,
if that makes any sense.
she can show you.
I just see all these comments here.
But overall, I will say 3D Super Mario 3D All Stars, not bad if you're in for like the nostalgia of how the games are originally preserved, what they're supposed to be, but just underwhelming that they're just straight up ports and they're not, enhanced remakes.
Who's Waku-san?
Who knows,
The guy
Barkin?
who died in his room?
Oh, yeah.
But
so Star Child said, hypocritical as in Nintendo and emulators.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right?
And LPH said Super Mario 64 DS port.
Yeah, or do a remake of that. Yeah. I know, and I definitely agree, LPH. You definitely hit the nail on the head, because I honestly thought that Super Mario 64 DS was a much better game, even though that
We're not exactly
using the D-pad actually killed the experience. It's like they could have actually made a better, remade that game, because it's more the definitive version of Super Mario 64 in a nutshell.
Plus, the other one actually has Luigi in it.
Yes. Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi.
Although technically, it turns out the original was or might have Luigi in it in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
After all,
Right.
Ahead is the ADDC's general.
It seems
Oh,
like
here's
Waku-san's
where you
room is
can-
on the 4th floor.
but you're not there yet. But
it's like they have all. I mean, they had all these things that they, that they kind of threw away threw away and still remained within their data bench. But it's just like, why did you not implement those said features that you could not do so in the first place? Because I'm pretty sure that you would be actually giving more people value for a product such as that.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just.
That's not to mention the whole,
This was the
only
room assigned
available
to
till
Waku-san.
like March thing too. So
Mhm. It's just like Nintendo.
What's down there?
Nintendo's are. I mean,
That's the
Nintendo,
research
they
wing,
do make
where they develop
good
all our
games,
new
but
drugs.
even they have really half-ass bad decisions when it comes to their business
You
side
can't
of
get in
things.
without a gold key card, though.
it's
Not when
true.
I have one.
What's the word? Nobody's perfect. That's why people who
I
get
suppose
like,
because it's the heart
it's
of
okay
the
to be a
center's
fan,
operations.
but it's one thing to like
Sounds like it's a
overlook
whole nother
all
world
like
back there.
overlook all
Security
these
like that
flaws,
must be a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And LPA
Come
said,
on,
"Yeah,
guys.
L is real." Okay, so you remember this? You need a gold card.
Yes.
Remember that for later.
All right.
Much later.
Okay.
But yeah, like I told you, this whole chapter is
Before
just
he
this
died,
flashback.
Waku-san spent most
Okay.
of
This
his
is
time
him
in
3
here.
years ago.
And when was he admitted?
Okay.
2 years ago.
Here's where the
With
Missable Trophy is
Some
coming
kind
up.
of dementia,
With
right?
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is a
Okay,
neurodegenerative
so
disease that leads to dementia. Yes.
I
In fact,
guess
it's the cause of
based on
almost
this
70% of all
plot,
dementia cases.
So they're one and the same.
like
kinda?
whoever the mole is trying to find a cure
Do
for
what you
like
gotta do,
Alzheimer's, but it has something to do with their eyes.
This whole thing, they're trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's. Yeah. But
Has
they're
anyone
doing
else
bad
slept here
stuff.
since Waku-san's
Yeah.
death?
Try and do it. You'll
Nobody.
see.
No.
Okay, here's the Missable
Waku-san
Trophy.
was missing from his
Scan
room
her.
morning of the
Scan her
incident.
boobs and her butt.
Okay.
So he was
That's the
murdered
I missed this
and carried
trophy.
out.
You have to be a
Can't say for
perv.
sure.
Yeah.
But
All
it's
right.
it's
likely.
like, whoa, it's one of those games, is it?
That's the trophy. You have to look at her boobs and her butt.
All right. Well, guess what, folks? We're gonna be pervs.
Because I'm like, hey, get the trophy that I didn't get. Boy, am I glad I found this quick, because I got a BRB again.
Really? Okay, I guess I have to go around the bed and then I can actually stare from... Yeah, here we go. Oh. I guess that the trophy didn't even show up until much later or something.
No, try and scan her hair too or something, or her face.
Okay.
Scan.
Yeah, I'm not
Or
leaving.
her face. Doesn't look too happy, probably. I said, yeah, she doesn't look too happy because you've been scanning her chest and her behind, mister. Okay, way too thorough. I got the trophy.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Now I can BRB.
All right.
The window's sealed shut. There's no way Wakusan could have escaped through
The
here.
trophy of shame. You saw it here, folks.
Reminds me of the best trophy I've ever earned.
Suspicious. All
Snake
the rooms
beater.
have windows like this, right?
Oh, God.
Seems like people would notice if something was going on in here.
Is that a Metal Gear Solid 3
Many
trophy?
employees in this ward.
Yeah, no,
The
it's a
halls stay
2
fairly
from the
busy,
HD
but
collection.
it's
When
mostly
you
Oh,
patients
okay.
in
tap,
between
when
appointments.
you find a
I
certain
see.
kind of
I wonder how the room
poster
looks
and
from
you
the
tap
hallway.
on a certain part of it.
You
It's
got all you need
Oh,
from
I
here,
see.
yeah?
snake
I think so.
beater.
That just sounds wrong.
It does, but it's so right.
Snake beater.
You can definitely see what's going on from out here.
But it,
Shintani
you know,
Sensei, can you lay on the bed for me?
it's funny that they do it back. They did this kind of stuff back in the day, but when you look at it now, if somebody were to see that's not into that stuff, oh boy, it's like you're not getting away from this. But it's like, you know, lighten up. It's just a game. They're not trying to make it emulate real life or anything like that. Because there comes a point where, you know, we have to, you know, suspend disbelief.
So, was this the colossal waste of time I knew it'd be?
Nope.
I mean, it's like that. It's like what JR said about what was her name, Anna J from the Dark Order, that he claimed that he said when she was in AEW All Out, he said, did Anna J just have a wardrobe malfunction, or is it just me? And then everybody got on his case when he said that.
Sure. Let's go over what we know so far.
Whatever you want.
Anyways.
All right.
I'm pretty sure if I brought this up to Jerry, he knew exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, Omega Mario says there's also one for Automata and Chainsaw. I can't remember the name, but it was with Tara Strong voicing the main.
The nurses noticed he
Oh,
was missing
okay.
from his bed. Given Waku's degenerative state, they assumed he was wandering around the hospital somewhere. But after being
And I think there
unable
was
to track
one
him
in
down,
the Newgrounds version of the
filed a
Street
missing
Fighter
persons
collab.
report.
Like,
Right.
I can't really explain it, but it has to deal with
Hard to imagine they'd make it
Sakura
outside.
Kasugano when she was defeated after getting in a fight with Zangief. But there was an achievement that... Because in that Flash collab, there are interactive achievements.
They were left with one.
Oh, Lollipop Chainsaw, yes. She did voice the main character in that game. But are you talking about for, like, Nier Automata, the other one?
Body out in the mountains. And lo and behold,
Because for Nier Automata, Tara Strong didn't voice the main character. It was Kira Buckland.
Cause of death was most likely suffocation, but they still don't know for sure. Any objections to this so far?
Oh, so yeah, this is
Actually,
old
yeah.
Yagami
You're forgetting
when he was in his lawyer days.
what's that?
Okay, now that makes sense.
Okubo-kun insists he didn't
Yeah,
kill
Nier
him.
Automata. Yeah,
All he
it
admits
was
to is dumping the body.
Kira Buckland voicing 2B, and then Shirami Lei voiced A2, who you could play as, you know, her if you decided to, you know, I'm not going to really spoil anything about what happens to 2B in one of these scenarios of Near Automata, but if you played as A2, then
Sure.
yeah.
But come on, Yagami. Guy's got a history of assault, and it's on record. Roughed up his girlfriend. Accidentally broke her finger.
Right, but that was over 6 years ago. He was just a kid.
Both have shame trophies
Got
for looking
drunk,
at.
made a
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
And what?
I mean,
It's okay for a kid to hit a woman?
shame trophies
course
that you
not.
do something that's
That's
just for
not what he's on
fun,
trial for.
but wasn't really
True.
trying to induce
I don't
anything that
condone what he did.
would be,
Legally,
terrible to the
committing one
mind
crime
or
doesn't
anything
mean
like
you're
that.
guilty of another.
Fine. But what about Okubo's shaky alibi? He said he left
It's like
the
all those
center at 10
exploits.
a.m.
It's like all those
After grabbing
exploitations in
sheets from
Dragon Ball that Bulma has whenever it comes to Master Roshi. It's just like,
Somehow got loaded
yeah,
into his truck.
even though he's just irritating her,
Who's gonna believe
it's like
garbage
it's not
like
really
that?
trying to induce anything
should, it's
perverted in
lawyers.
real life because it's all just fantasy. You know what I mean?
We're meeting with Okubo after this, right?
I guess Metal
You should just
would
be
agree
honest with
since
Tell him
Corpse
what
just
you
got
saw.
out of there.
Are you two done here?
But hey,
Yep.
it is what it is.
Can you show us the garage next? The one where Okubo-kun parked his truck. The service entrance, I think it was. That's the only other place we'll need to see today.
I would have to say, even this week, it turned out to be a
We'll
pretty
need to take an
interesting week for me.
elevator
My family and I, we actually learned how to actually clean out a carburetor on our push mower, and that was like the first time I ever got to do something,
I'm ready to go.
that's like, doesn't seem like it'd be something that I would do as a mundane activity. I mean, it's the first time for my family too, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Omega Mara says, yeah, I wonder what Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake will have in terms of trophies which drag you for messing up. I don't know. That is a good question. I know that certain Metal Gear, I know that when it came to like the Metal Gear Solid games through the HD collection, they actually had some very interesting trophies with like the sort of actions that you could do. Like, say, at the very end of the game, during the last cutscene, when Raiden met Rose in front of Federal Hall after defeating Solidus, if you were to zoom in on the camera and look at the left, you could actually see Vamp in the crowd, and you actually get a trophy for actually spotting him in the crowd within that split second that you actually, see that angle from that cutscene. I mean, some games are very creative when they, if you're trying to go for a cutscene, that they have little creative perks like that.
Garage to me.
I mean, maybe it wasn't in Ryuga Gotoku's best interest to do something like that for, say, a flashback, but,
It's quiet.
It is.
Hey, Yagami.
it is what it
Check
is
this
when it
out.
comes to Japan.
These are the carts they use to collect sheets and linens.
I mean,
Day of the crime.
their cultures
Okubo was
are
all
a
over the
lot
hospital
different than the
with
rest of the
these
world.
things. Would have been simple for him to sneak a body in there and cart it right out.
Maybe so. Where was Okubo parked on the day of the incident?
Oh,
Here I am talking about, like, all sorts of unique perks, whether they are just cool or kind of, shameful or whatnot, and I really should be focusing more on what's going on in the game. Okay, so I guess I have to go into... My gosh, I'm investigating a place and all of a sudden I'm standing on top of a car. How awesome is that? Look, I'm investigating this place and I can stand on somebody's private property. I can even stand on top of the car and just, smash, take my shoe and, step on top of the windshield and it doesn't even break.
the truck was parked here, with the back facing the elevator. Here's a recreation of it.
I see.
DNA evidence from the victim was found in the flatbed of the
Oh,
truck.
hey, there you are, Metal.
That's proof enough that the body was there. And when they confronted Okubo, he flat out admitted it.
You okay over there, good sir? You haven't really talked for a few minutes. Okay, so we got that. I guess we talk to her next.
When was Waku-san last seen?
Just before 8
Yeah, I
a.m.
guess
on the day of the crime.
part of the investigation is that we have to talk to the people
7:50
who
to be
work here.
precise. An ADDC scientist will be testifying.
Tainted the yeah, I
The claims
tainted the
examine
evidence.
race were
I'm like
cozy in
Phoenix
bed.
Wright.
I see. Can we talk to this witness?
I tried to get an appointment.
The car
but they
is
shut
now
me
the
down.
evidence.
Said they don't want us interfering with their research anymore.
They're not willing to make an
Yagami,
exception
I'm
this
pretty sure
once?
Yagami would say, I'd say we
This
stick to
isn't
the
an issue you
crime
wanna
scene.
push,
But that
Yagami.
lady would say, well, I
That's
say
the
we should go
scenario.
get
You get charged
burgers.
with witness intimidation.
And then all of a sudden they would have that argument, what a ladder really is, whether or not if it's just a regular ladder or a step ladder.
Breakfast is at 8 o'clock, so the patients who can walk on their own gather in the break room. But on the day of his disappearance, 8:30 came and went with no sign of Waku-san.
No sign of
Thought we'd
Waku-san,
find him
eh?
Quickly. Didn't exactly turn
Don't you
out
mean
that
Waka
way.
from Final Fantasy
Right.
X? Yeah?
Got that, Yagami? Here, let's go over some more details.
Ugh.
What we know is, Waku was taken out of his room sometime between 7:50 when he was last
Ooh,
seen,
ouch.
and 8:30 when everyone noticed he was gone.
Now, yeah, now that's a murder if I ever saw one.
During that 40-minute span,
Finally.
somebody
Hey, welcome back.
suffocated Waku and stuffed him into the laundry bin. Nobody suspected
So
there was a body
we're
in
seeing
car.
the murder of
The only
Waku
clear
happening in this
culprit was
flashback.
Okubo, the man in
How,
charge
you know,
of
the
laundry.
supposed logic played out.
To further back this up, DNA evidence from Waku was found
Yeah, I remember
in
this.
Okubo's truck.
Yeah, I've been
When
trying
the
my best to keep the
police
conversation up and going, but Metal played
He
corpse on me
confessed to
for
burying
probably
the
like the
body
last
Oh.
5
of
minutes.
Okutama.
Oh no. Chat!
3 months after
What
the
does
crime,
chat say, at least?
Waku's
Omega Mario has
corpse
been
was
talking
finally found.
quite a lot, and I mentioned to him about, like, yeah, after you mentioned, you know,
With me?
staring at the lady
This
and
thing's
whatnot,
airtight,
and to get the
Yagami.
trophy, Omega
You know
Mario
we're
and I
getting
were
it.
talking
Come
about,
on.
like,
Just
you
give it
know,
up already. You don't have a chance.
you know, it just seems weird that there's a
Even
lot
though
of shame,
Okubo says
that
he's
there's
innocent,
some games that would
I
have
promise
shame
we'll do
events kind of
everything we
like that.
could.
And I said, well,
Not my problem.
you got to remember
You
that
shouldn't
there
make
were a lot of
promises
other
you
things
can't
that also
keep.
had shame events, kind of like
Then I'll do it
with
alone.
Dragon Ball when it came to
Don't have
Master
to be
Roshi,
involved.
always trying to
Even if
exploit
I'm
Bulma,
not,
but just for
it'll also
comedic
hurt
purposes.
Genma-sensei's reputation.
I'm sorry, but our client says he's innocent.
I
can't
mean, was
back
there a
down
trophy
from
for
this.
it?
What?
Fine.
For anything
I'll be in the
Roshi did?
lobby.
Nope, not necessarily. But I'm just, or even when Metal brought up Metal Gear Solid 2 with that poster when you're in like the
If
locker
you like,
or whatever,
I
and
could
you
take you
can
to see
kiss the
Waka-san's
posters
room
and whatnot because it has the
don't mind?
you know, the real life
That'd be great.
female, the lewd females on the posters in the locker rooms. It's like you could actually
yeah.
you could actually get a trophy for a specific one. But it just seems like how it's you know, it just seems kind of weird how they would have just, you know, wacky perks like that just to try to get a you know, a special achievement like that. And I told them it's kind of reminds me of the Street Fighter collab, the Newgrounds Flash animation.
Oh, I remember that. Wow.
Because if you remember in that Flash movie, there were achievements in that based on certain things that you clicked.
When you would click. Yep, I remember that. Yep.
And one of them was with that. I think it was an Ego Raptor animation, but it was that one fight between Zangief and Sakura. And after he defeated Sakura, when she was just lying there motionless, you can see Zangief was just kind of looking at her funny. But if you were to, you know, click on like the, you know, the provocative parts when she's lying down, you would get an achievement that says "Oh no, boner."
Star Child said Bulma exploited
Waka-san
herself
was
for
here
personal
until the
gain.
morning of the
Well, yeah,
incident.
she did do that.
Then he just up and
She didn't know
disappeared.
she wasn't wearing panties, though.
Yeah, that was
She
Goku.
realized Goku stole them.
Yeah, she didn't realize that till much later. Or unless if you want to go by the the continuity based on Path of Power, Goku got away with it.
Not yet.
Oh,
Just a little longer.
PHY, LOL. Star Child, LOL.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's
Window
like,
sealed shut.
why
There's
would
no
they
way
do that
Wakusan
for?
could have escaped
That's
from here.
Toriyama, I guess.
But if you, or if they're talking
But
about
that-
for like
oh, wait.
the Street Fighter collab.
Oh, the Street Fighter one. Then yeah, no, I don't know. That was a
Wonder how well you can
weird.
see in here from the hall.
That was a weird way to get an achievement just for something like that.
I distinctly remember it when Zangief was looking.
are
You
you
heard
finished?
one of the voices in his head yell something that I can't say here, or else he'll
Yeah,
be banned.
I've seen what I
Right.
need. Anything else you can share?
I remember that. Oh, LPH was asking for a Dragon Ball.
I did for the Dragon Ball. Oh, okay.
How
Because-
long
So,
will
which
Okubo-san
I say you could ask Toriyama, but then Toriyama forgets everything,
If he's
so he
found
probably
guilty,
couldn't even
that
answer
is.
you.
Yeah,
Probably 10 years.
like
Toriyama's
more.
like, I forgot.
It's hard to
LOL.
say for sure.
And what
yeah,
if
it's
he
like you told me
confesses?
about that.
Gotcha,
Would they
gotcha.
shorten
It's
his
like you told me
sentence?
about that specific part of Dragon Ball that he made a long time ago, but then Toriyama's like,
But
I
we're
don't
still
remember
going to
actually
put him
doing
innocently?
this.
Even though Okubo-san is the one who'll suffer for
He
it?
forgot Super Saiyan
really
2
not guilty,
was the
he won't
one with
have
the electricity and short hair.
Yeah.
He
To
thought
be
Super
perfectly
Saiyan
honest,
3 was Super
This is
Saiyan
my
2.
first criminal case.
Ah, okay.
Civil cases have been a mixed bag for me too. I've actually lost more than I've won.
And then I was,
Is that so?
and then when I was explaining about
Apparently, a
the
smart
weird
lawyer would never even
ways to get
consider innocent
trophies, I
in this
remember that when it came
Guess
to
it's a
like
good
certain
thing that
games
I'm
like
not so
Metal Gear
smart
Solid
then.
2, Sons of
Guess I
Liberty
honestly
HD,
believe
that
I
you
can
could
win.
actually like in the final scene
close
of
to
the
Okubo-kun?
game, you know, where
I spoke
Raiden
to him
sees
pretty
Rose
often,
at
yes.
in front of
I
Federal
would see him
Hall,
around the ward
and
all the
there was
time.
that one angle shot where
What
it
did you
showed
think of
Vamp
him?
along
Did he
that was
seem
within
like
the
the kind of
crowd,
guy
and
who'd
if you
do
were to
something
zoom
like
in on the
this?
camera during that
I'm
time period,
sorry.
and you actually see
The
him in the
director
crowd,
told
then
us
you would
not
actually
to
get a
say too much.
trophy saying that you spotted him in that crowd.
Wait. If you know anything that can help,
Seems like
just get in
seems
touch.
like there was just some weird but kind of
Oh yeah,
unique.
Yeah,
I'll do whatever
Starshot.
it takes to set Okubo-kun free.
I forgot about
can't do it alone.
Starshot. That's right.
You forgot to pay taxes.
to pay
Oh
That's
yes,
right.
I
I
remember.
showed you Toriyama's tax evasion thing.
I remember that now.
Just now.
And I showed Wheels that he wheezed laughing. He was like, wait, Toriyama's tax evasion? Yeah, he's like, I forgot, LOL. LPH said, too many Super Saiyans.
How'd it go?
He laughed like wheeze, or was he wheezing while he was laughing?
You practically lost
He was doing
cause.
it. You know, that kind of laugh.
Oh, that kind of laugh.
That
He's
what you think?
like,
Basically,
yeah, that kind.
basically trying to be like Muttley from Wacky Races, but just couldn't even get there.
I really have nothing to lose by
No,
helping
that's
you
not
out.
Muttley. He did this.
Oh yeah,
It's just
I
told
can't
you.
really do it.
I can't
Whoever
either,
did
or
it
else
is framing me.
all of a sudden, like, collapse on the floor.
Jinpei Okubo.
So I told you, this whole thing's a flashback, and you're
Mhm.
finding out how he,
How he stopped being a lawyer.
yeah, and
day
how
of
he
the crime,
cleared
you
Okubo.
were in the
Remember at the
general
beginning
Yeah,
of the game?
yeah.
It's
How he
like,
cleared him, and
Okubo was
then
cleared,
Starting
but
at
then
8 a.m.,
Okubo, yeah,
you went around to
And then
each
he
was
was-
of
showing
the
how he cleared him the
buildings.
first time. Here.
And then he was
Yes.
framed for like murdering his girlfriend or
Nobody
whatever.
would dispute that.
Well,
And
if
after
you want
that,
spoilers, I
you
can tell you.
covered Wakusan's nose and mouth.
I mean,
suffocated him,
If we're
and
gonna
then
be
carted
under
him out
Yagami's
alive.
eyes, then we might as well,
That's not true.
you know, go under
Wakusan
that.
wasn't there when I went into his room.
We might as well
I didn't
go
see
under
him at all
that
day. You have to
mindset.
believe me.
And I do.
But yeah, let's not go into spoiler territory
so
as
when
of
you went
yet.
down to leave the center at 10 a.m. after gathering the linens, you realized there was a body hidden in the truck.
Yes. That's what
I
happened.
mean, Jerry, have you ever played a game?
And after
Well,
debating
aside from
whether
this,
or not
have
to
you ever played a
report the
game where
body,
there was like a
chose to
really
hide it in the
weird
mountains?
perk or something to get yourself a trophy or an achievement?
Yeah, there's a couple. I don't remember right off
had
bat,
a
but I remember
criminal
like
assault on my
there's some
record.
that you miss where you like
I knew
basically
the police would've
same thing.
suspected me
It's
if I went to
rewarding
them.
you for being a person.
Aren't you forgetting the bad blood you had with Wakusan?
Bad blood? What are you talking about?
Not Shenmue, but
3 days before the murder, Wakusan claimed Okubo-kun here punched him and
Star
stole his
Shadow.
wallet.
That is it like Primal
He
Fear?
told me all about it at the center.
Primal
When
Fear?
did you even ask?
While you were busy chatting with Terasawa-chan. Even if I bitch about it, I'm still damn
I don't know.
good at my job.
Oh man,
Okubo-kun?
just.
Did you
I
take
mean,
his
even
wallet
when you
or-
play some like of the older PS2 games that just became available on say like PS4 or where they got like HD versions of them, kind of like God of War. It's just like when you play through those games, it's like it just seems really weird. Like you would get a trophy all of a sudden, when a certain scene or an event actually happens. Just like just from looking at it, it just doesn't seem like it would be logical just to get something like that to happen that really quickly or whatnot.
No, you murdered him.
I wouldn't kill a man over something like that.
Yeah, because I can remember like in the first God of War when the God of War 1 and 2 HD came out on PS3, it's just like I was getting trophies up the butt because it was just all based on linear story progression, but
Set me up.
it's just like it just seems kind of
I remember Blaze Blue. The first Blaze Blue that came out. What was that one called?
Calamity Trigger.
Calm down.
Calamity Trigger. You got a trophy for just starting the game.
But I know one game that is infamous to where it is easy to get like 1,000-point gamer score on Xbox 360, and that's Shaolin's Showdown.
Showdown? Oh yeah, based
Xiaolin
off the
Showdown.
cartoon.
Yeah, based off the cartoon. Anything you did in that game, you got an achievement for it. So it's like the only game that made it really easy to immediately get 1,000 gamer score without any like effort to make anything creative to try to get those little rewards. Like you hit the start button, you get an achievement. You start a new game, you get an achievement. You change a piece of equipment, you get a new game, or you get an achievement. You learn a new ability, you get an achievement. It's just like it is so bad.
I think the Avatar game was like that too.
Yeah, I remember the King Kong game for the Peter Jackson movie was the same way. Just completing it like on any difficulty gave you 1,000 gamer score. So a lot of
trophy hunters,
score,
achievement hunters,
would go rent that game just because and it didn't take terribly long to finish either, since it was movie license game and everything.
This is
so
my case now. I can handle it myself.
but I remember it actually wasn't horrible.
Okay.
Oh, the Peter Jackson game? No, because it had
was like
Michelle
a decent
Ancel.
first-person shooter and everything.
Yeah,
Like, it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it had Michelle Ancel designing that game. The guy who created Rayman. Which, speaking of which, they announced this week that he's leaving the gaming industry.
Where's this coming from?
The creator of Rayman, Michelle Ancel. He left the gaming industry to pursue his second passion in life, and that's wildlife.
You mean that friend of yours,
good for him.
She's got Shintani
But he
all
said
riled up.
not to worry about
Said
the
he'd
new
been
game
nice
Wild
to
or
her
even
and
Beyond Good and
he
Evil
had
2 because he
friends
left it in
her.
capable hands with his team.
Jackass.
Golly, I
Nothing's
never
official yet,
reminded me.
guys.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Regardless, keep it on the down.
Friggin'
Yet.
what happened? It got announced and we could tell that it was for PS5
Mm-hmm.
because it looked good for. We were like, this is a next gen game, and I guess it was.
Yeah.
Sarchow said he had a game where you get a trophy for just watching the opening cutscene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that in Final Fantasy 15, after you watch like the opening cinematic, you get a trophy for like now officially starting the adventure.
Mafia Kun's a prosecutor.
Or even if you played the PS4 port of Final Fantasy VII, after you beat the first battle, win the first battle after you start the game, and you go to level 7, it's just like, you got a trophy for winning your first battle right there. It's kind of ridiculous.
This isn't going to be an easy one.
And I'm pretty sure that Final Fantasy VIII Remastered's kind of in the same way too, since that game does have trophies and achievements.
What's that?
Which, speaking of which, I still have not played remastered Final Fantasy VIII as of yet.
Me either. I think it was on sale too, and I didn't get it. And I was like, man, I should. For being my favorite Final Fantasy, I still haven't bought it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
There's a piece of evidence I should focus on if I want Okubo found innocent.
Okay. I think you show the old man first, then the bed.
Okay.
The old man's face, and then you pick that one, and then the bed.
This is Walker.
Starshaw said,
Suffocation is the apparent cause of death.
FFA Remastered is alright.
As for his body, it was
I think you say that one, and then,
And
then the bed.
Okubo's the one who told him where
Yeah.
it was, right? As I've seen, he's admitted to that much at least.
Okay.
Yes,
you show that
but
the
he
bed.
insists he didn't commit the murder.
It could have been anyone
Maybe
in that
so.
bed.
Yeah,
You're
that
gonna
is
need
true.
evidence if you want to prove
That's
it.
what I remember. The bed
They
was
find
the
anything on the
next
body?
piece of evidence.
Maybe something that give our man an alibi?
No, nothing like that.
Seems
Well,
very
that's a
weird to
shame.
see
That's
Yagami
not
in
my
his
point, though. The
All
evidence I
nice
showed
and
you-
yeah, in his
yeah,
lawyer
lawyer-
days.
Win you the case.
What the hell's your problem?
Instead of his street clothes and being
Was
rough
that
around the
Shintani?
edges with his hair.
I think so.
Get back here!
Uh-oh.
That bastard.
Okay, here's where you show the bed.
Was eavesdropping on you.
What the hell?
Somebody was
Tried to
eavesdropping.
stop him, but he pulled a stun
They pulled
gun
a
on
stun
me.
gun on Shintani.
Hey! Wait
Oh,
up.
I get it. It's Shino Aburame wearing that
Hold up!
from Naruto.
Well,
Because he has his mouth covered and he's wearing a coat. It's like he's either Shino Aburame or he's Kiba Inuzuka.
oh yeah, Bug Boy from yeah.
Yeah, the guy who was on the short end of the stick with trying to get Naruto's attention because he knew everybody else except him when he came back from his 3-year training with Jiraiya in Shippuden.
Hold up!
Yeah, I saw one on Dankrudo about Jiraiya that was funny. Where remember when he dies and spoiler alert, I guess for something that happened ages ago and the sequel series already out.
Yeah.
And he writes on the toad like the secret message
Uh-huh.
that he wants to give about pain.
Yeah.
So somebody made a meme where instead of like the message it was that said that, you know, the pain you see isn't the real pain. Instead the meme said delete my browser history, Naruto. Alright. You gotta think too hard about it, but alright.
Help! Someone help me!
Sarchel said the characters are remastered and look good. The only downside is that the locations aren't remastered. Other than that, it's alright. About FF8.
Uh-huh. Yeah, oh yeah, the like the pre-rendered shots of the locations that you're at, they weren't like, you know, that highly detailed.
Yeah, the characters got the treatment, but not the...
Yeah, not everything else.
Like, wait, what?
Funny how I got like all my moves from present time.
Yeah, you just don't have your upgrades, but yeah, you
Yeah.
have like everything else that, yeah, he would have already...
Mm-hmm.
Like, you notice your health bar is like...
Yeah, and I'm getting
Oh,
glip up by this
yeah.
guy with the stun gun, so I'm gonna see about him first before anything.
Yeah, you won't have your Flux Fisher or nothing. You just gotta...
Yeah.
Whatever he started with.
Here, you want to hit me with a stun gun? Well, see how you like it now, then I can do it for everybody else.
Right, exactly. You like them apples. I don't like the sound of them apples. Applesauce.
Bitch.
Yeah, you got it.
Applesauce, bitch. Goodwill Hunting 2. Hunting season.
Yeah.
Hunting season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jane
You
Silent
remember-
Bob Strike Back.
Yeah. Jason and Bob are just in the background. We got 1040. Yeah, I wasn't with a hooker today. We loved you. You was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
So yeah, I saw about those guys.
Can all lawyers
straight.
fight like that?
Oh,
about
I
them
see what she
before
was
they See
doing.
about you.
She was trying to lure those thugs out so we can actually beat them? What is going on here? I do not see I can't see the motive of why she
Touch out, remember?
called
Goodwill
those thugs
Hunting 2, hunting season.
Anyway.
Her,
Did you
you
really
notice
need
that
to run away like that?
she's the girl, right? The one you
I
were
assume you came to
Right.
perving out on.
Mm-hmm. Who was at
Something I
the,
wanted
you
to
know,
talk
who
to
was
you
showing
about.
the crime scene and all.
But I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if I should.
Mhm.
Then that pig-headed friend of yours
Poor
started
girl.
shouting, so
Yeah.
I just lost it.
She does look like somebody
Did
who
you have
you would
to
just want
tase
to
her?
pat on the head, though.
Not that he didn't have it coming.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, I'm listening if you want to talk. No matter what it is, I'll keep your
Yeah, she doesn't look like waifu
Anything
material.
You tell me will fall under
No,
client attorney
I mean she was Shunpei's waifu.
Yeah, should be. You would think.
Kubo's waifu, I should say.
Well, you know the witness who
I would say
saw
that
Waka-san?
prosecutor who's been,
Said he saw
you know,
him
talking to
sleeping in his
Yagami that we've known in the game, that female one,
Well,
she's more
that
waifu
witness is a
than
man by the name
this
of
lady.
He's great.
He's one of the scientists
Yeah.
at the ADDC. Not
But
only that,
you get
but
nothing
he's the
with her,
director's
though.
right-hand man too.
Not really a spoiler. It's just weird. Like he gets to talk to four rando women he can date though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He's a very dedicated doctor. So the nurses have a lot
I have
of
all
faith.
four, but I didn't finish.
But something
I only
felt off
finished
when I
one of
heard
their
what he had to
dating
say about the
things.
incident.
Where
What's that?
you can do all four too. Like there's
I
no
guess I'm just
Persona
skeptical as to whether or
style
not he actually saw
harem.
Waka-san. I
What you
don't
call
think
it?
he's intentionally deceiving us, but he may be
punishment.
mistaken. somehow.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess, I'd say the other nurses feel the same.
Harems.
The most you get is
mentioned this until now.
Yagami saying, "But I am in a relationship" to
Nurses
himself.
talking about
He
a
never
doctor
says it to the
behind his
other girl.
I'm very
not
mixed when it
something a
comes.
nurse could
I'm
do
really
without
mixed when it comes to harems because they've
And if
been
it came
done
to
way
courtroom testimony-
too much to death as of recent.
None of you would testify?
And I blame
It's like-
The
and I
other
blame
nurses
Sword Art
I
Online for
would.
kind of popularizing it
I never
again.
really fit in over there anyway. Besides,
That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, I'll stick with
I think
Tenchi.
Okubo-san is
Yeah.
innocent.
Although even then, Tenchi really a harem? He had a bunch of
Sounds like
women,
I've
but only
finally got an
only
ally on
two
my
were
team.
actually fighting for him.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones just kind of liked him, but not like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
All right, here we are at the courthouse.
I'm currently employed
You know,
as a
it
researcher at the
really
Advanced
baffles
Drug
me,
Development
these
Center.
court scenes. You know,
Part of
you
our
figure
research
that
consists
this
of
is where like the
clinical
whole
tests
Phoenix
we
Wright
perform on
type of
patients
gameplay
and
element,
the
you know,
general
with the
board
court
of the
system would actually come into effect, that you could
On the
actually
day
have
of the
some
crime,
control
I
in
was making my
something like
usual
this.
rounds through the ward.
you'd think.
I mean, with the way how they
And
hyped
what
up this
time is
game beforehand, it's just like
Around 7:50.
it's kind of. I feel it's kind of wasted potential right here.
Yes.
I mean, even though it's still good, I
Patients
feel
eat
like this is
breakfast
an
at
area
precisely 8
that area
o'clock.
that they could have,
I
you know,
always
made
head to the
still
break room
playable.
myself, right around then too.
This break room, to be precise?
That's correct. Our more mobile patients walk there for breakfast instead of eating in their own rooms. Then, while the nurses help the patients eat, I ask
Good Will
about how
Hunting
they
2
feel
hunting season.
and how the medicine is treating them.
And on the day of Wakusan's disappearance, you passed by his room before going to the break room?
Yes,
And in that room, you saw Wakusan lying on the bed.
yes.
Can you
And
describe
there's
the
that,
situation to us as you
And
remember?
that jerkish prosecutor who we saw in Chapter
The
1,
door has a window,
trying to get his guilty
so
verdict
you
without
can
looking
see
at
into
truth
the room from the
firsthand.
hallway.
And this is the room you're referring to, yes?
That's correct. From where I was standing in the hallway, I could see Waku-san lying in bed.
There we go.
He was
So, see
the
that guy
blanket
with the
covering most
monkey
of his
ears?
body.
I don't know how else to
Yeah.
describe it.
And
Yeah,
what time-
huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked
around
Major
7:50.
player.
okay, and even in
further
present
questions.
events too.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy with the monkey ears, it's just like, woof.
I mean, them ears are like humongous, bro. It's
Yeah.
like-
She actually asked to testify.
people used to make fun of
Problem?
Bush and Will Smith for having big
Not
ears.
really,
Like, no, that
no.
dude right there. Those are big ears.
It's like, didn't I see that guy off Monkey Magic, the anime?
You know, I bet that guy with the ears is called
Kurosawa-san,
Guybrush Threepwood.
You
No,
were
I'm just
present for Kurosawa's testimony just now, yes?
Yes.
And what is your opinion on that testimony?
kidding. Here's my chance for a
I felt
comeback.
his wording was rather imprecise.
Don't call it a
And as a
comeback.
medical professional, I felt his actions were negligent.
Could I ask you to be a little more specific?
And there's
Oh,
that guy who was
Shono-san claims he saw Waku-san
always wanting
sleeping in his
to
bed
get a
during
big
his
scoop
morning rounds.
and all that. He would even pester
However,
his
there's no way he could have known
the
that
people
just
who
by
he's trying to
looking in from the
interview.
hallway.
Basically, that
Oh
guy.
yeah, him. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy
Yep.
with the notebook.
Supporting
Yeah, that guy. He helps you out.
Mm-hmm.
Although he's kind of a jerk still, but he helps you out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, haha. Then he's like, oh snap.
Okay, so now I want to show him the bed in this. So that way.
Let me see. I wish this wasn't behind. Okay. What does he want? What does he want to prove?
There's no way Shono could have checked on Waku, and this proves it.
Yeah, it's either the bed or yeah.
His bed pillow is okay.
That one. That one.
That one.
Through
What
the
I?
window. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's either that or the old man.
Yeah, there's
himself,
no
I
way
forget.
he would be able to see because that thing is blocking where you would actually spot his face.
If they say that's wrong, show him the old man and then show him the bed again. So I forget how this goes.
It's a photograph of the victim's room as viewed from the hallway. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked in on Waku-san.
And this evidence points to this fact. Shono's testimony was a lie, or the culprit is Shono, who claims to be a witness. The culprit was hiding in a hospital room, or the victim was already dead.
Oh, let's see here. So it's Shono was a lie, or the culprit's dead, or which one is the other one?
The victim was already dead. Shono's testimony was a lie. The culprit is Shono, who claims to be a witness, or the culprit was hiding in the hospital room.
It's Shono's testimony was a lie.
Yeah.
Shono-san was lying when he said he saw Waku-san in the bed.
Excuse me?
What he saw from the door was likely nothing more than a bulge of sheets. He couldn't have been able to identify it specifically as Waku-san. So to claim as much in his testimony seems like quite an
Here we
exaggeration,
go.
don't you think?
But common sense would dictate otherwise, would it not? Who would be in
You
the
see,
bed other than Waku-san?
this is where I wish that more of this element actually was in place. This whole courtroom.
I know. Basically here and at the end, and I was like, that's about it. Beginning here and the end, and I was like, and that's like it. And I'm like, really?
There was actually one time a while back.
Because that's where I say, oh, okay, so now they're actually showing the inspirations from the Ace Attorney franchise that they're actually using for this gameplay element.
The witness makes an important
And
distinction.
that actually, I feel that actually would have made this game a lot more fun, in my opinion. But then again, I'm pretty sure they were pressed on time for what all they can show throughout the entire story. Because, you know, when it comes to the Ryuga Gotoku games, they're usually very story-driven.
Must have smuggled Waku-san's body out in his laundry bin.
I mean, I think this game's really well done, but there's some weirdness in the story. You noticed, like not in the story itself, but like the pacing. You notice how it's like randomly. It says, remember you're playing the main story where it randomly had to deal with a divorce case. Like what?
Yeah. There were some questionable choices within the story that just appeared out of nowhere that just seemed completely unnecessary.
Yeah, like for real. I'm like, I don't know if they felt there was not enough they could tell. I don't know.
Rendering the
Yeah.
prosecution's central argument unsound. Your Honor, taking this new testimony into account, I'd like to call Shono-san back to the stand for cross-examination.
Which, you know, if a sequel to Judgment ever comes about, I would like them to, you know, fix up on some of those flaws.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I definitely see this game having potential with getting a sequel eventually, but that'll probably be until after Yakuza Like a Dragon, after its release.
I'll get right to the point. On the day of the crime, what did you see when you looked into Waku-san's
But then again, we don't know how many games that the Ryuga Gotoku studio are actually working on because there are various teams.
And did you get
Instead
a
of
clear
just
look at his face?
specifically one team.
I don't remember.
So it's possible that it could have been someone other than
That's why we've been able to get, like,
Or maybe you mistook to be
Yakuza 0
Waku-san's body.
and Yakuza Kiwami close, releasing close to each other, and that's why we had Yakuza 6, Song of Life, Yakuza Kiwami 2, and Judgment. No, not Judgment, but I thought there was a third Yakuza game that came out in that same year as those two. Or it was like... No, it was Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Those three Ryuga Gotoku games released in the same year.
They all came out and people were like, whoa!
Then the defense
What would
rests.
do?
But I do have a
I
quick
still haven't
remark
played
for
Lost
the
Paradise.
prosecution.
Huh?
Star Child has. I know that.
I say you'll really like it whenever you get your chance to pick it up. I mean, it is a greatest hits title.
Yeah.
The charges against my client stem from your assertion that he's the only possible.
With it being a $20 game, really.
I mean, hey, I'm a Fist of Rockstar fan and a Yakuza fan, so like,
However,
right.
the defense has proven without a doubt.
Pretty sure I like it. Yeah. But I didn't know you had it too.
Oh yeah.
Establishing a reasonable doubt for my client.
Or else I wouldn't have been able to show
Hey,
my.
what am I saying? I don't know you had it. I remember you. I remember you doing the dang music stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and even posting on Twitter. You know the.
Oh, my brain is like the. I'm sorry. That's how it be. You know how it is.
But that doesn't change
Bless
that he
you.
saw the victim.
Bless you.
So your whole case is based on a fuzzy
Yeah, that was
memory?
like the second game. I mean, no, that was the first for the Ryugaku Toku Studios to have a game that they worked on have English voice acting before Judgment. I think Judgment was the second game that they did.
His own grandmother develop dementia,
And then Yakuza Like a Dragon is going to have English voiceovers, but that'll be the second Yakuza game to even have that after the original PS2 game's release.
Day after day,
But here's hoping that Mark Hamill comes back as Majima.
leading to his valiant testimony here today.
I think they already confirmed that,
If
didn't
you
they?
want to know whether I trust this
If they
man,
did, then I have to
my
look it up
answer
and
is
see if they actually did,
yes.
because I can't remember.
It's because he's such a great
Me neither.
researcher. His
I
testimony
just,
is
I think
infallible.
they did it.
His own admission that he's not sure is somehow overlooked? Is that the sum of it? Because from here, it sounds like you're putting your faith in Shono-san's title, not his testimony today.
The prosecution is not as easily swayed as you think.
Hopeless
And
choruses.
you want to talk reputation?
What do you think it's next after Yakuza Like a Dragon? What do you believe, Jerry?
No, it's probably some other spin-off, but what kind of spin-off? Judgment 2?
6 years
Lost
ago,
Paradise
the
2?
defendant broke his girlfriend's finger.
JoJo?
The poor girl is still suffering.
Heck, I'm still waiting for a JoJo, or if we can't get a JoJo, then how about something like a Yu Yu Hakusho type of experience?
Now, fast forward to what occurred a few days prior to the crime.
I mean, you literally have Yusuke Urameshi and fighting against not only thugs on the street, but also demons in the underworld, so I guess that could actually work in both ways.
Would be motivation enough to murder the poor old.
Is something wrong, ma'am?
Standing
Please
up and
remain
clenching your
seated while
fists.
Court is in session. Terasawa-san?
Okubo-san is not a violent person. And he hasn't even had a drink in over 6 years. Not a single drop since the incident.
My court will not stand for this commotion.
He didn't blame Waku-san at all.
Yeah.
He knew that the
That's-
outburst was just caused by his
That's
dementia.
just the nature of the beast when it comes to court. I mean, both sides are trying to fight so hard to make sure that their case is solid.
Okubo-san really is an incredible, caring person.
Please leave this courtroom at once.
You're right that he may be hard to approach, but he's a kind soul, and he always keeps his promises.
So basically, she's pleading that Okubo is innocent.
Either. As a matter of fact, it would break my heart. And even through it all,
But you're not the girl he offed.
keep this a secret, not to tell anyone, not even his lawyer, that we were dating. Even though he knew he could have ended
So
up in
that
prison,
was something she was hiding.
was the only thing in the world
Basically,
he cared
she
about.
went out with the
Just who
guy.
he is. But when the prosecution has already decided he's
sexy.
a criminal, how could he possibly be given a fair trial?
Dang. Kind of
Her little
powerful
outburst
speech
wasn't
from her.
technically admissible. But
Yeah.
as the trial dragged
She's
on,
like, he ain't do
left the jury
nothing.
like a stone.
He's like, Griffith, he didn't do
in
nothing.
the end,
Yeah, man, yeah.
Okubo was
Griffin
found
did
But
nothing wrong.
but Shinpei Okubo, he just doesn't seem like he's that kind of guy who would be like Griffith,
everything changed.
you know? Even
Well,
though
that's the thing.
that's how
Like,
this
even from the beginning, I'm like,
even though this is how the game
Yeah, but-
wants you to think.
Starshot asked, "Did they dismiss the case?" Yeah, it says that in the beginning. Then now it's flash forwarding to saying that Okubo killed his girlfriend now. But this case they dismissed, yeah, because there was no proof that he actually killed that old man.
Mm-hmm. And now we're back at present events.
That's pretty much the whole chapter right here.
Dang.
Something wrong?
No, those two other guys next to Big Ear Dude are
But
LPH. Man, this is Law and Order level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
It's very Law and Order.
Familiar, but I can't quite place the name.
Sasha said, "I thought so." Yeah. So that's why he's disgraced. They're like, "Oh, but then I mean, just from looking at Okubo, do you think he really could kill anyone? He looks like.
Like I said, it's just that I don't think he looked like somebody who would actually have committed that crime just based on what was all going on.
Okubo-san was unstoppable. If only my testimony had been better.
Shono-san, right?
Does it matter?
You're the reason Terasawa is now working with Okubo-san was unstoppable. Oh my gosh.
With it. Just like old times.
Lion sacks of crap.
So Terasawa
was the girl.
Yeah, she was the one who got glip-glopped, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
There is a mole at work here.
It does seem
you
received a phone call from
I got a call.
You speak of.
Do you know who he was calling?
Do you think I should pick that up? I don't recognize that number.
Dr. Shono.
The same Shono-san you were just
Maybe you recognize the song, but don't recognize the number. If you don't recognize the number, don't pick it up.
Yes. However,
all it says is Massachusetts. That's it.
Unless if they leave a message, just leave it be.
Yeah, let him leave a message. Yeah, that's what I do.
It's just, man, even with my smartphone, I get random phone numbers every single day. It's just like, even when you're trying to put yourself on the national do not call list, it's like it's become completely moot at this point.
Shono and I co-authored the research paper on AD9.
Apparently that was my clinic calling, but that's not their noble number. Their number is not the number they call me with.
Close friends or
relatives in order
to contact us. Perhaps Shintani-san fell into that category.
So...
Have you heard of the mole murders taking place in Kamurocho,
yeah.
Dr. Kido? 3 Yakuza, each one with their eyes gouged out.
Dr. Kido.
Yeah, they left a message. Okay.
Same way.
So I mean, if they usually,
can you think
like,
of anything tying the
they usually call me. I don't know.
Huh?
Not on the weekend.
Yeah, that just seems weird that they would just call you on a Saturday instead of Monday through Friday. Because isn't that when like doctors are actually supposed to?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like, oh, it actually was my doctor, but I'm like, look, y'all didn't.
Organized crime. One of your guests here has information.
Oh, we're talking to Dr. Kido, and now the head of the police force is here.
That would be you, Yagami.
Hmm?
Yeah, and Starchild says 90% are scams. Yeah, they are. I mean, scamming you, saying stuff like you could save on this or that, or they'll take you to court if you don't return the phone call, or they'll arrest you if you don't take the phone call and whatnot. It's just like, dude, where's your legitimacy in what it is that you're trying to say? God, I hate that. I mean, and Jerry, even we talk about that from time to time. The certain, those scam phone calls about those when they threaten you with all of that jargon.
Oh my God, I had one that said my social. You ever heard of this classic scam? Your social security number was used to rent a car in South Texas, and that car was found with blood and drugs. So you're gonna get glip-glopped if you don't respond and give us money. Like, wait, what? You don't use your social security to rent cars.
If you don't respond to this phone call to plead your case, we will arrest you on the spot.
What's weird is that my phone is supposed to have T-Mobile said we got new scam protection. Well, how come I'm still getting them?
Yeah, it's just
Right?
like, and I was even saying it's just like the National Do Not Call list has pretty much become moot at this point because.
But apparently that was a real phone number. That actually was my clinic saying I got a call Monday to reschedule my appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, my doctor won't be there on the actual day of my appointment.
To the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintano.
Is that so?
So all I want to do is find out personal issue.
I'm Hoshino, an attorney at Genda Law Office. Officer,
I think Star Child knows, right?
or-
I'm not gonna say it here, but I think he knows
It's your call,
what,
Yagami-san.
what I want to see the doctor for, right?
I think I'll
If you do, say yeah. If you don't, I'll tell you later.
You have your answer, sir. You can go now.
Was
You
the
can make this easier if you come now. Next
is he trying to get Yagami to testify in court about
Your empty threats
Shintani's
don't
murder?
mean much
Okay,
to
Star
Roy.
Child knows, yeah.
Can you take this elsewhere? I really must be.
Too bad he's not a lawyer.
The young lawyer there?
Your friend's nothing.
Yeah.
No, she's just trying to like scare him.
Just come along quietly.
Oh.
I'll come back with a warrant if I have to.
That guy is a big time Scoob. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I'd like
You'll
to see
see.
you try.
The
Why
one
do you
who came
suspect
with
me anyway?
the one who came with the head
have a
the
I
plate.
can
The
come
fellow,
up with
the
a few
fellow,
good ones.
the fellow
Get the hell out of my office.
talking to that Yagami said, "I'd like to see you try."
Oh, that guy. He's
Yeah.
he's a real scrub or whatnot.
The one I could come up with a few good ones. Yeah, he's a Scoob and a half.
Scoob and a half. Yeah.
You two.
Dare I say 2 Scoobs and a half?
Before we go, can we speak to Shono-san for a
You're
second?
like, what?
We need
What are
to
you
know
talking
why
about,
Shintani
Jerry?
called it.
Speak English.
Listen, I
I
already
am
told
speaking
you he
English.
doesn't know. Get it through your skull. Now, please.
Hey, I've been getting used to my arcade
problem.
stick. That's an
We'll
offside
let you
thing
get
as
back
well,
to
but
work.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys know this, for those of you who watch Geek Fighters, but Jerry did get a Kwamba fight stick for his PS4
This is
recently.
really getting out of hand, don't you think?
yeah, and I've been playing on my
I
laptop
can't
too with
believe
it.
That detective thinks you're a material
The only
witness.
game that doesn't work is Dragon Ball Fighters. I don't know why
What he's
with that
talking
stick.
about. But
Have
what
you
I'm more interested in
have
is
you
how
tried
Nathan knew where
to?
find me.
I would imagine you try to look up information to see how you
Yeah,
can
I
try to
did,
get to
yeah.
work.
Just know we were here.
And it said just use big picture mode on Steam and then launch the game
Focus
through
on
there.
Shono, though.
And I
Maybe a waste
did,
to come here
and
and
it
not
still didn't
talk
work.
Agreed.
It
Let's
works
see
on
if
my
the receptionist
DualShock
can
just
help us.
fine.
Right.
I guess I'll just have to either like when I build my PC, I'm gonna have to just keep that in mind. Because right now, I Dragon Ball Fighters I play with DualShock anyway because I feel that game isn't really execution heavy. I mean,
Actually, I've already been here. I was
same
just
thing with
looking
Power
at
Rangers
Akita.
Battle for the Grid. You don't really need a stick for that game.
Oh god, yeah.
Not really. Yeah.
Did you forget something, sir?
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but you
I'd
don't.
actually
Right,
expect
yeah,
Shono-san
exactly.
to be 89 researcher.
So I'm
Where
like,
would I
I'm
be able
fine
to
with
find
pad
those,
for
yeah.
fighters,
Let
but
me see.
it better work for
That should be
Tekken
the
whenever I
research
download
wing.
Tekken,
I
which won't be
believe
on
he's
this
in the
laptop
protein
because it's way
abnormalities
too
lab.
way too much
Need a gold
space.
key card to
My
get in there,
laptop
huh?
only has 70
That's
gigs left,
better.
and Tekken
I
is
should be able
70
to
gigs.
lend you one with the director's approval, though.
It's like, well,
Just give me a moment to ask. Could you tell me your name, sir?
a gold
Actually,
key card.
Yep.
Hey,
they're-
didn't we play this game before for PS1? You need the blue card to enter
Are
this
you
area.
sure, sir?
You need the gold key
Good
card
call.
for this
There's
area.
no chance Kido-san would
Yeah, that's
listen.
some old school video game stuff right there,
At
right?
least now we
Yeah,
know
that's
where
like
Shono is.
old Doom levels of
The
Doom or Wolfenstein levels of just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the path to the cave is blocked
There's a
with
map
ice.
around here
You need the fire rod to enter.
Oh yeah, it's shit like that. Yeah, I hated that.
Let me upgrade to get new combo speed. There we go.
That's actually from an old issue of Game and Farcer. Remember that?
In Farcer.
Remember that? April Fool's Game Informer?
Oh yeah.
Where they're like, this is the typical old school JRPG NPC.
The service
And like,
entrance parking lot.
and like he's reviewing games, and it says, what does old school JRPG NPC have to say about this game? And then he just keeps saying the same line. The cave is blocked with ice. You need the fire rod to enter.
We were just in there.
Some of those, I mean, some of those things in some of those things that they did for the magazines back in the day were just really weird. Like for PSM, they actually had like for every summer they would always have like swimsuit editions, but they were just a bunch of fan art of characters wearing swimsuits.
I think I have a couple of those still. If I didn't throw them away, because I threw away a good chunk of my magazine collection, but I still got a good chunk
This
left.
goes over to the hospital. I think Waku-san was
That
up
makes
on the
any
fourth
sense?
floor.
But
Yeah,
it does.
it just seems kind of weird that they would just
I
do
remember
stuff like
those. Yo, Udon still does that. With Street Fighter.
Well, I mean, it makes sense
their
for something
art.
like Street Fighter because there's like plenty of waifus in that series, but it's just for like a bunch of random characters from video games that we already heard about. Just all of a sudden getting like a swimsuit cover variant. It's just like what?
The what?
Oh, Star Child said he threw all his PSMs away. Those magazines became a joke. Yeah, the unofficial PlayStation magazine. Yeah, I remember back in them days, man. They had like Spiky Otaku. I don't know, it was weird back in those days. And then it became the official.
Good old days.
It became the official because OPM got like
Suspicious.
discontinued. So PSM was like, well, we're the only game in town. I guess we're official now.
Basically, yeah.
Official PlayStation magazine. Oh yeah, I remember. Official
I still
PlayStation
got
magazine.
a bunch of my OPM discs. You know that?
Oh yeah, even the ones on the PS2 when PlayStation Underground, when they were teaming up with the PlayStation Underground. Yeah, I still got them on me.
The research wing must be just past there.
Oh man, those were the days. So fun. But I remember with official PlayStation magazine, I remember their review of Suikoden 3. They give it like 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's like, really?
Researchers. She was just about to return to the lab.
When a lot of other like websites have been giving it rave reviews, like I even remember like GameSpot actually giving that game like a 9.1 out of 10, and that was really rare of them to do something like that.
Great, we'll take you up on that.
LPH mentioned Marvel and DC did one at one point. Starchild said he preferred EGM and Tips and Tricks, which I also have a bunch of issues of.
I also like GamePro. GamePro was actually pretty cool.
I'm Yagami.
Yeah.
But about
GamePro I liked because they were actually, when Dragon Ball games came out, they were actually Dragon Ball fans on GamePro. They actually, so when they reviewed the Dragon Ball games, they actually knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, and like 65% of like all the pages inside every issue of GamePro was all just a bunch of ads because that's how they made their money, was all the advertising revenue.
What kind of work do you yourself do?
Starshow says he still has a lot of demo discs as well.
And I remember a thing with GamePro is like not only did they treat video game culture well, but they also treated like the anime industry well because that's where they had a bunch of like all those otaku like wall scrolls and all that stuff that like in one of the last pages.
And it's
That's
the
where they
mad
actually-
drug our department's developed.
Oh, that was surprising.
Than other magazines. LPA said it's sad I never owned a Nintendo Power Mag. I never had one either, funny enough, even though I knew that's like where all those secrets and strategy guides were in those games.
Oh yeah.
I mean those magazines, excuse me. But
well, some of them had mini strategy guides, but
like
yeah,
like Mylon Secret Castle, you wouldn't know what to do unless you had Nintendo Power.
Seems like it's really getting fast tracked because of that.
or even Deadly Towers, you wouldn't even know what to do if they had Nintendo Power. Oh wait a minute, I don't think they even did anything for Deadly Towers because they knew how much that game sucked ass.
Dementia patients there are
My
in
cousins were the ones who had it. That's why I know of it, but I never owned it.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
Starchild says Suikoden 3 was great, even though it was drastically different.
Oh yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the thing with developers is that they take chances when they, try something different in later games, and pretty much that.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And pretty much that the way they did with having the 3 protagonists in that game that you could play from the perspective of, that was an interesting mechanic that they had for like that became beneficial for the game's overall story.
Whenever COVID lets like traveling things lighten up, Starshot said he also has Mylon Secret Castle. I'm like, one of these days, I'm gonna have to just go to Texas and just visit you, and see your collection like firsthand, because like you got a lot of games that like, man, I'm like, man, I wish I still had these.
It's just you go over to his place and And then you say, "Hey, there's my copy of Final Fight 3 I've been looking for throughout all this time."
Oh my god! Star Trek said, "Yeah, this kid named Josh gave it to me." What? What is he? You saw my tweet about that, huh, Kyle?
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Where I was like, I'm like randomly, I'm getting mad again because I'm like, dang it, Josh! Freaking never gave me my copy of Final Fight 3 back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you
Oh, I gave it to you. I still remember to this day. I gave it to you. You must have dropped it. It must have fell out your bag. Out of here.
What a scrub.
I'm like, if it dropped out of my bag, then your copy of Beavis and Butthead would have fell out too. But it didn't.
He conned you. I mean,
He did.
Beavis and Butthead on the SNES and
like really, yeah.
Beavis and
I
Butthead
got
on the
the raw
SNES.
end of that deal.
Oh god, that game is horrible.
Yeah.
And even Beavis and Butthead kind of allude to that in the game. They're like, this game
I've
sucks.
never heard you raise your voice, Shono-san.
So they're not wrong.
See, like I told you, that guy you're gonna see a lot.
Ichinose?
I'm here from the Ministry
Ishinose as well, but I mean Shono.
Oh, Shono, yeah.
And the fat guy, the one in the middle, what that flashback you saw the picture of the three of them. All three of them are.
With Ichinose, why do I see Mitt Romney just looking at his mug?
You can boss scientists around, but I'm not biting.
It's like
Star Chef said he actually beat that Beavis and Butthead game. It was hard. I never played it and never played it again.
Just need a few minutes to talk. We'll leave right after.
FPH says that the new show will be out next year.
Oh yeah, Beavis and Butthead is getting a revival.
I need you to tell
It's second revival after the first one. Even Ren and Stimpy's getting a revival, but I think that's going to be on Comedy Central, from what I heard.
I don't.
It's not gonna have the same creator, is it?
No, it's not gonna have the same creator. He no longer has any involvement with that show whatsoever after after his departure from Nickelodeon.
Because we know what happened with him. Star Show said same with Maximum Carnage. He beat it. It was hard. Never played it again.
Which one should I answer here? Are you scared of the director? Do you know about the murders in Kamurocho, or there's a lot of money behind 89, huh?
I think it's another one of those. None of them are right.
Oh, okay.
89 is.
I mean, I'd go for there's a lot of money, personally.
Yeah, that's what I chose.
Even funding a new wing here. Sounds like there's a lot of money.
Because Twitch be behind.
Yeah.
You're sitting here.
But yeah, the new Ren and Stimpy show won't have John K a part of it. But I really do hope that Billy West comes back to voice the characters.
I already told you.
I mean, he first started off as Stimpy, and then he voiced both Ren and Stimpy after John K's departure.
Kido-san's the one to ask. Now,
Billy West.
Let me get back.
He was in a lot of Nick cartoons. That one, Doug.
Yep.
What are you doing here?
Kido-san.
He was a lot of animation, even voicing many of the characters in Futurama.
Yep. So he became Professor and Fry.
Zap Brannigan.
I needed to hear that from him, not you.
Oh yeah, because Phil Hartman got yeeted.
Remember that time when Phil Hartman actually played a video game character that was like to be the next big video game superhero, Chicken Man or whatever?
Oh, Blasto?
Or Blasto, yeah. Where he rides a chicken.
Yes.
That's right.
I remember Blasto. I had the demo. It's one of the demos I have, actually. Yeah.
That was Phil Hartman's only time in a video game, too. Before his unfortunate passing.
Yeah, whereas that still makes me so sad, because, he was so good.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Especially in The Simpsons. Joy McClure, you might remember such shows as...
came up empty-handed. Why would Shintani-sensei
Yada yada.
have called Shono-san?
Earwigs, ew, and Man vs. Nature, The Road to
It wasn't
Victory.
the first time I've heard about Minister Kazumi.
Huh?
Starshaw said he played the cat's voice in the Kiki's Delivery Service.
Who's talking to me about
I haven't seen that.
Which one? The one that Disney did with Kirsten Dunst voicing Kiki, or the one before that?
I don't know. There was two dubs, but
yeah, there were two English dubs. Which one should I choose here? Was it when I was talking to Mafuyu? Was it when I was talking to Gen?
Now this one. Okay, is this still chapter 6 or is this chapter 5
we're in chapter 6.
Okay. Let's see here. Was it when I was talking to Ayabe?
Was that the one? Is that the one I need to choose?
Yeah.
Okay.
It must have been Ayabe.
It must have been Ayabe when we were drinking over a Tinder. Yeah, okay, yeah, alright, now that makes sense.
We were talking about how
it's 7 already. Wow.
Yep. After we get done with this cutscene, then we'll close off.
Hey, we got a whole chapter done today.
Yeah.
So that's good.
A while back,
definitely a lot better than the last episode we did of this, too. Commentary-wise.
Because we kept doing side stuff.
Yeah, and the commentary wasn't really up to par in the last episode. I'd say this episode was definitely an improvement.
Nothing to do with health.
I don't even remember if I was there for that one.
No, you were.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true. Do you think it has to do with our case somehow?
Yeah, it was just kind of a chillax episode for most of us.
That's what this one feels like, but like the good kind of chillax today, though.
Yeah, good chillax, and we had
that conversation going.
Yeah, we had a lot of conversation. Starchild says, I know he was on the Disney dub for sure. Yeah, so, yeah, that was him, the Disney dub. A lot of the Disney dubs for the Studio Ghibli movies is like, you would never expect to hear this guy's voice, to voice this certain character, like if you watched Howl's Moving Castle with Calcifer, you hear him he's being voiced by Billy Crystal, who voices Mike Wazowski from Monsters Incorporated. And so when you hear him voice Calcifer in that movie, you're like, hey, it's Mike Wazowski.
I got a brother named Jimmy, and my teeth look silly. Break it down now. Oh wait, that's Simpsons. Now it's by Carter, not Crystal. Wait, what's by Crystal? Whatever.
Besides, we're close. We're close to the end of this episode, anyways.
I'm gonna head back to the office. I just got
Are you playing on a Pro or on a regular PS4?
Pro.
I had a regular PS4. That was a launch one, but I got rid of it after.
It's like I know it's a load time. I was playing on a regular PS4 and it still was long. I'm like, I thought you'd get shorter load times. Nope, still seems the same.
Yeah, but nope. I'm playing on PS4 Pro. I traded my old PS4 for PS4 Pro. I think a couple years ago because when they had PlayStation 4 days or whatever was going on at GameStop at the time. And I switched my OG PS4 to a PS4 Pro because they had a limited edition white one. It's like there's certain games that I still haven't even tried where they have that boost mode feature, like with Infamous Second Son, where if you played it on OG PS4 it was in 30 frames, but if you played it on PS4 Pro with the boost mode on, you could actually play it in 60 frames a second. But anyways. So yeah, that's it for today's playthrough, so it's time for us to get to plugging.
Alright, yeah. Metal, are you there?
Yeah, unfortunately.
What you got to plug?
I'll plug myself. YouTube Visible Ninja Dojo, where we host Ninja Talks live Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Come check us out. We kind of look at this week in news and discuss stuff about mecha anime, mostly Gundam, not always, especially because we're going to be starting a Brave series here soon. And, of course, the tokusatsu genre. So if you like watching them Power Rangers or them Karate Bugmen fight, foam rubber monsters, it just might be the show for you. So check it out at, once again, YouTube at Visible Ninja Dojo. Or, of course, check out hero-club.com for all your hero news. On Twitter at HeroClub4Life, that's number 4. And then, of course, twitch.tv/HeroClub4Life, where we restream the show, as well as do some Let's Plays, usually Fridays around 9 p.m. Eastern, so check it out.
All right. I'll go next. So you can follow me on youtube.com/doublerpg reviews. That's where I create most of my content. I'm currently working on episode 12 of my Final Fantasy retrospective as right now. And be on the lookout for that in the future. Not sure exactly when, but it will be coming out. I would like to try to get done sometime in October, but realistically it'll probably be around like the beginning parts of November when I'll actually get it uploaded onto YouTube, but who knows. But in the meantime, you can follow me through social media at facebook.com/doublerpgreviews and twitter.com/doublerpgreviews. I do have a channel here on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/doublerpgreviews. Haven't really made any plans to get back into the get back to doing streams, but probably until after I get done with episode 12 of the Final Fantasy retrospective is when I'll get back to doing some streams more, but haven't decided. But if you want to see the archives of my live streams onto YouTube, then you can follow me at youtube.com/doublerpggamerfersolo. And that's me.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I wasn't muted.
No, okay.
You can follow me on twitch.tv/FighterCouse and on all of social media, same name, FighterCouse. You can also follow us on Discord if you haven't already. And if you want more of stuff that Metal covers, which is Karate Bugman, you can go to hero-club.com. And as for me on Twitch, if you want to know my schedule, I stream Tuesdays and Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Tuesdays Tekken. Fridays is basically kind of a variety. As of this Friday, I actually have no idea what I want to stream. Maybe Street Fighter 5 again. I don't know. We'll see. You let me know. You can always hit me up on social media or in the Discord. That's me.
All right. And after getting off on here, I'm probably going to be playing some more Super Mario 64, but probably not through the 3D All-Stars collection. I'll probably play it the unofficial way, with the, the quality of life improvements that people actually made for themselves, but who knows. But anyways, be sure to join us next Saturday for more Judgment, as we will continue on with Chapter 6. So, until then, this is Double RPG.
Visible Ninja.
I'm FighterCouse.
And Jerry, you got two words left for us, so what are they? And end us off in style, my friend. Peace out, everybody. See you next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Adios.